And the wild part is, if we would like to say that, okay, it's an ignorant voting base, okay, I think that's disparaging to the Democrats. What has gone on in the state of Virginia? People knew what had gone on, and yet they still said that's a D next to the name. I don't care that he wants to shoot his political opponent's children and watch them die.
Right. We got to get them early, he said. We can't let them grow into a fascist. Yeah, it's. I wanted to believe that it was a fringe element. In my heart of hearts, I knew it wasn't, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe that, that's the disqualifier. That's the thing that even Democrats can't stoop to. I
mean, what was the Republican talking about? Everyone getting Ebola?
No.
You know, it's like what was the alternative? Because the alternative wasn't talking about murdering your children. I think that's the only one. When we look at what happened last night, it's the only one where you go, that's surprising.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's enlightening.
Yes, it is. It should open a lot of eyes. And, you know, there are, I do believe there are Democrats that are sitting back going, man, what's going on in my party? They sense something's going on in that party. And I would say they're sensing it late. Obviously, we've been telling our listeners for a really long time, years now. But they finally are sensing it themselves. They're not ready to accept it, though, because Hakeem Jeffries says, no, Zohran Mamdani is not the face of the Democrat Party. And even a guy that talks a lot of common sense but votes for the Democrats because he is a Democrat, and John Fetterman said the same thing. You are wrong. Both of you are wrong. Mamdani is the face. Now, the only good that will come out of this is that Mamdani will be the face going into the midterms. That will be, I do believe that will be a benefit to the Republicans, because they'll be able to say they've already embraced socialism. They're embracing communism. That's not what America is or is about. That's the only, I think, maybe the silver lining on that. That's the way I feel about it. Thinking that Mamdani will be maybe an anchor versus just this parade of victory, this person to look to and look forward to being involved. I just think the left wing, that movement, that is going to benefit Republicans in a great way. That's the only thing. And the other thing I would say about it, though, that the thing that makes me nervous about it is that this is not a isolated incident. I know it's easy to believe that, oh man, it's just New York City. They're, of course they're liberal, of course they're crazy blue. I'm seeing across social media the Democrat socialists that are celebrating. They realize that this is their opportunity, that this is their moment, and this is going to spring up. This is not going to stay in New York. That's why you're going to have to fight this so hard. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to recognize what's happening, and then be prepared and vote accordingly. You better get involved in your local races. You better get involved in the things that are happening in your community, because those things could change greatly. These people are inspired.
Well, I guess here's the thing I keep going back to, Tug. Because we don't have a media any longer, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of stories about what is going on in New York when things begin to fall apart. Or,
I think you're right about that.
Well, we got yesterday, on MSNBC, which, Morning Joe, it's our go-to. Yesterday, you had Mamdani that was basically doing the victory lap before they'd even opened the polls. And part of what he was doing was resetting.
Oh yeah, the expectations.
First off, and then I think you had Andrew Cuomo, who had pointed out, I don't know if he just decided to start fighting yesterday, but he talked about, he was like, if you're talking about having 4 government-run grocery stores in the city of New York, It's like, that's nothing.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's like saying we got 4 government-run gas stations in Atlanta.
Exactly. You're like, oh, okay, that's great. That's nothing. In fact, when Mamdani was asked on MSNBC about free groceries, he's like, no, cheaper groceries. I'm like, well, hold on a second. When it came to rent control, it's the same deal. It has to go through a state election board. And so many of the things he was talking about, he very much is the free soda and no homework on Fridays, guy that you have in middle school. That's what he was promising. And so if there are elements that he is able to get done, well, then, will the media actually cover the hellscape that it becomes? Or is it really just going to be, all right, this guy he's the mayor, he's implementing some of the stuff he's doing, and none of it's working, and it's actually being talked about in the media?
Yeah, we'll see. The media, I mean, you said it's dead, and I agree with that for the most part. Mainstream media, I mean, nobody's watching it. You can look at the ratings and see that nobody's watching it. But they will, the little bit of influence they do have over, generally the baby boom generation. And that maybe that's the people that keep the idea afloat. That's the people that they can convince that this is that this is moving in the direction that it's supposed to be moving in. I don't know, man. I'm kind of at a loss for what New Yorkers are thinking. I know he talks about free, and with everything being expensive because of what the Democrats have done over the last 4 years. That is a very enticing message. I'm going to make it so affordable. I'm going to make it the cost of it. I'm freezing the rent. It is so easy to believe that free is real. And you and I both, everybody listening right now knows that nothing is free. If you get the coupon from Chick-fil-A that says, here's a free chicken sandwich, you go pick it up. Yes, it's free to you. You got it. But they paid for it. It was a marketing thing that they did to get you to try their product or consume their product. And that way you'll come back and spend money again. You're not if they did that every day with everything, they'd be out of business.
Well, we talk about the conditioning that goes on when you look at, for instance, SNAP benefits and how the numbers have now been very publicized. We're talking about 42 million people that receive these benefits. The numbers were at 17 million before Joe Biden took over.
I know.
And so, just as you're saying, it's like you have a society that is now used to free, or this is taken care of, or here's how long that I've been taken care of on this stuff. The idea of a work requirement that is like shocking to people. Here,
Which
you
is
need
nuts.
to go volunteer. Yeah, it's 100% nuts. And so I think a lot of this comes down to is that when New Yorkers start looking around and being like, hey, other people got stuff for free, why am I getting no? Isn't this supposed to be the panacea, the utopia?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening for me? I think that's where you're going to actually need a media, or at least X, is going to tell the people the truth over what is actually happening in that city moving forward.
Yeah, you're going to need something. But as it falls apart, and everybody knows it will. It look at the history of socialism. It never works. The only difference in this situation for right now, that will change for right now, is that New York City, I mean, the size of that economy, it's like a tenth of the United States economy. It's a giant, so there's tons of money coming in, right? So you're going to be able to use that money in any way you see fit as mayor. You're going to be able to change things, manipulate things. Again, that will run out. But right now, in the starting January, when he is sworn in, he's going to be able to take that incredible amount of budget that the city of New York has and do with it what he desires. And that's going to look good for a really long time, because it will take a while for the bottom to fall out. You know what I mean? For those people to eventually move, or eventually move their businesses or close their businesses.
Yuri Bezmenov is the person that we enjoy playing, where he did the interview from the 1980s, a former KGB officer,
Yep.
and he talked about what goes on as far as infiltration in the United States, but also the mentality, okay, the mentality of communism. And one of the main points that he ends up stating is he talks about the useful idiot. He talks about how you're not a moron, but you bought into this, and this is what happens. The issue he talks about is that the communists will use the useful idiot, and then they'll be disillusioned first when they realize the free ride ain't there. Everything they were promised is not there. And so I'm going to be very curious what happens when people in New York, especially the young people that jump down this road. I thought it was funny to read an article about, they called it the downwardly mobile, that it was 20 and 30-year-olds that because they're carrying college debt, they think that they're working class.
Oh,
They're the ones that'll be the first people that are like out.
Yeah, well, and rightfully so, because they ain't gonna get anything. That's the other thing. The people that will be lined up to get something, and then eventually get nothing. Those are the people that are going to be like, well, but I thought you said, because everybody's going to have their hand out, man. Everybody's going to have their hand out, and it's unsustainable. Logic tells you that it's unsustainable. It's spending beyond your means as a young person. You take out credit cards and you do this, that, the other thing, and then when the bill comes through, you're like, oh my goodness, it's unsustainable. I can't do this. I don't know how quickly, because it's going to take a while for all this to catch up. But when it does, it is going to be a complete and utter disaster in New York. But my fear is, while that is going on and it looks good in the beginning, how many other places are going to be buying in because they see the early, what early happens in New York when there's actual money coming in before it all collapses.
Well, and that's the other end of this, Tug. It's about, just as you're calling it a buy-in, I want to see what now happens with the elite rich in New York.
Yeah, that's
right. Are
right.
they going to be like, all right, I'm buying into this thing, or are they, hey, it's time to get out? Because we've now seen this, and this has never happened in this country's history before. We have more people leaving California than are going to California. One of the numbers that's been out there, Californians are heading to Texas. New Yorkers are heading to Florida. And so does that migration continue to happen based on this, where the epicenter of capitalism is looking at this scenario and going, I don't want to be taxed to have this game played on me. I'd rather just get out. And that's the deal. The top 1% of New York pays for over 50% of the taxes. They're mobile. Let's see if they decide to leave.
Yeah, and I think, at some point they will, but I don't have it in front of me. There was this multi-billionaire that sometime, Bill Ackman is who it is. Here's the, I found it from late last night. Bill Ackman, he's a venture capitalist guy, and a lot of times he makes sense. But he sends out the congratulations to Zoran Mamdani in New York. Congratulations on the win. You have a big responsibility. If I can help New York City, let me know what I can do. So at least that billionaire is buying in. I'm not saying every billionaire and I don't know that Bill lives. I feel like he's a California guy. Let me see if I can figure out where this hedge fund guy lives.
It almost kind of feels like
he does. New York. Okay.
Hey, comrade, I'm here for it.
Yeah, it does. It does have a hint of that. Yes. It says born in New York. I don't see where he lives these days, but it does. Yeah, it has a little bit of that kind of feeling. And and he was very pro-Trump. So maybe he's just a guy that sees opportunity. And he was like, I'm going to back and talk out of both sides of my mouth. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to spend money on both sides, hoping to make money. But I mean, I'm no genius. I'm certainly no Bill Ackman. I don't understand the things that he does, but I can tell him he's going to lose money in New York.
It's going to be fun to watch. I'm telling you, my entire view of this has always been, if you're going to preach all of this socialism, and then it's going to happen, all right, put it on a big stage so that everyone can see what goes on, and you can see the disillusion, because it doesn't matter where it's ever been tried, okay? It's never successful. The people get upset, and then in really communist countries, they get put against a wall and shot.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that part's not going to happen.
No.
But you will see the people that'll turn on this and say, I was promised all of this utopia, and none of it was delivered, just a shared misery.
We shall see how it all shakes out. It was like I said, most of it was expected. Because I got a text. I didn't see it until this morning from my son. He was like, looks like the libs did pretty good. And I was like, yeah, they did. And he was like, was that expected? And I said, in places like Virginia, New York, and in New Jersey, yes, it was. The fact that the conservatives were even being discussed is remarkable. But with like the Public Service Commission election here in Georgia, the fact that 2 of those seats have now been turned Democrat, I was surprised by that. I expected conservatives and Republicans to get out and vote, and they must not have.
Well, this is exactly what the shutdown's about. It was always about firing up their base so that they would show up to this election.
Yep.
And they were able to accomplish it.
Absolutely.
And hey,
good for them.
Credit to them.
Right.
All right. Well, I'll see you later this year or next year.
We got a uphill fight ahead to stamp out and stomp out socialism and communism, because it will be the downfall of the United States if it continues to grow. This is just obviously just one place, but it's a really, really big place in New York. 6 o'clock hour brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett, 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063. Across the social media platforms, let's talk to Neil Bortz, the Talk Master, next.
The Morning Extra, Neil Bortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Hey, Atlanta, let's talk about True Prep. First off, 1000 Kyle Parkway in Marietta, where you don't have to worry about getting ready, because when you shop at True Prep, you stay ready. Whatever your ready is, they're able to help you. And right now, they are at it again with even more in-store specials. First off, they have the outgoing Glock 19 Gen 4 in stock today. Now, it's going to be there while supplies last, and those fly. All right, so you got to be able to get in there as well. They have great deals on 15 and 33 round Glock 9 magazines. That's going to be going on for the better part of the next week until November 12th. Other deals that they have also includes the Radical Firearms AR-15 for just $399.99, and some of the lowest prices on 9mm and 223 ammo that you're going to find in Atlanta. If you've been to True Prep, you recognize, hey, let's face it, shooting is expensive. Being ready is expensive. True Prep makes it less expensive, okay? They're always finding deals out there to bring you premium ammo and give it to you at the best prices. So what do? Well, just go over to Cobb Parkway in Marietta. Check out True Prep right there at 1000 Cobb Parkway, or you can go online. Go to trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
I always buy my emergency food from My Patriot Supply. Fair prices, fast shipping, quality food.
We love buying from My Patriot Supply. The products are fantastic and service is excellent.
My Patriot Supply is America's most trusted emergency food company, and right now they have a special offer for listeners of this station. It's called the Black Friday Survival Special, and it comes with a 4-week food supply, plus $150 worth of free gifts, including everything you need to prepare your emergency meals, like a cook stove, fuel, fire starters, even a water purifier, bug-out bag, and more. It's the complete survival kit your family needs to ride out natural natural disasters, civil unrest, or worse. And it makes a great Christmas gift, but it's only available through Black Friday. So head to mypatriotsupply.com to check out everything that's included. With all the uncertainty in the world, disaster preparedness is more important than ever. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and get prepared today. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
You probably heard Relief Factor commercials where somebody says to his spouse regarding his pain, "You don't understand. It's gone." Well, Sharon told us that's exactly how she feels. She wrote to me and she said, "Glenn, Relief Factor has helped me so much. I plan on taking it for the rest of my life. I'm a walking testimonial." For me, it was more like Tanya twisting my arm to give Relief Factor a try. I heard about Relief Factor All Natural, created by doctors, blah, blah, blah. I really agreed to try it, not in thinking it would work. I just wanted to get her to stop telling me to do something and prove her wrong. Well, she was right, again, of course, and I got my life back. Not only did I not have to live in pain, I could thrive again. If pain has been holding you back, maybe it's time you found out why so many people, just like Sharon, just like me, make Relief Factor part of their daily routine. 2 out of 3 people who try it go on to order more month after month. I'm one of them. Try the 3-week quick start today. See how it works for you. Visit relieffactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF.
I'm Ashley Dvorkin with a Fox Celebrity Profile with Zach Brown of Zach Brown Band. They're launching their new album, Love and Fear, with a residency at the Las Vegas Sphere. They'll use the themes included on the collection as the tunes span many emotions.
We can work on dark and on light and talk about both of those things, but we can also break down our decisions that we make in our life based on love or fear.
He adds the band is grateful to go on this new musical journey with fans.
Getting the opportunity to take people along on a ride with you through things that have happened to you, through things that were hard, that they can maybe relate to. The greatest release comes from tension. And so our goal through this show is just a series of rise and falls of like hard things, uncomfortable sounds, jump scare, like horror movie moments into beautiful, redeeming things. And it just symbolizes the journey of life that we're all going through.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. Election results are in. Democrats won in the statewide race for 2 seats on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Alicia Johnson and Peter Hubbard replaced 2 Republicans who still hold 3 of the 5 seats on the commission. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens won his re-election campaign, as well as all the incumbents on the Atlanta City Council. Mayor of Marietta, Steve Tumlin, was also re-elected. Cobb County leaders are considering a new amendment that would make it easier for police to manage homeless camps on private property. If approved, it would be similar to an ordinance already in place in the city of Marietta. Currently, the police cannot intervene without the property owner's presence. The new amendment would require individuals to have written permission to camp from the property owner. And Forsyth County firefighters rescued a 10-year-old girl who was stuck in a tree. Rescue workers say she was 30 feet off the ground. 4 units responded to the call, removing tree limbs and raising ladders to get to the girl. She was back on the ground safe with no injuries in 45 minutes. Today's weather, sunny and warm with highs in the mid-70s. It looks like we'll have our first freeze of the season early next week. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Getting a visit from the one, the only, Talkmaster Neil Bortz. Good morning, sir.
Oh, hi. Hiya, kids. Hiya.
Was he stretching too? He's getting a little stretch in and make some noises?
Actually, I am a subscriber to a little organization nearby here called the Stretch Zone.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. See?
Yes.
Stretching's key.
Where they strap you to a table and this winsome wench starts twisting you every way but loose.
Yes, but it's great for your back, is it not?
I'll tell you what's great for my back is spinal decompression.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Because I have spinal stenosis. Who doesn't at my age? You know, the old L4, L5 vertebrae thing?
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I had a zealous doctor. Oh, well, we can operate on the hell you can. Not at my age. And so I found a wonderful chiropractor down here who is, by the way, studying to become a PA at the same time.
Wow.
And unlike others, he did not want, well, you have to sign a contract for 12 treatments. You just go in, get them one at a time, and because of my situation, insurance covers it. And, oh, boy, I come out of that spinal decompression an inch and a half taller than when I went in.
Tony, there's so many people that, whether it's a spinal decompression or just even hanging like how big of a deal that is just in order to get that spine, like I said, that L4, L5 all stretched back out again.
Absolutely. And the hanging thing works too. Well, okay, I have not changed my mind. I still want Mondami, whatever. You people are so endeared with him, and he's got such a wonderful smile, and he's going to make the buses free, and the cost of living is going. Yeah, okay, here he is. Have at it. Let us know how it works out for you.
You know how it works, Neil. Look at Venezuela. We don't need that in New York City.
Yeah, no, the only difference is Mondami never drove a cab.
Well, okay.
You know, but I'm sorry.
He comes from wealth, just as, and we documented this before, Neil.
Yeah.
When you look at so many of the people that rise to power within communism, outside of like Chairman Mao and a handful of others, they all come from the higher end of society, but they try and pretend like they're just a common man here to help other common men out. That's never the case.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'd love to debate him. I'd love to be on a debate stage with him when he says, well, the prisons aren't rehabilitating. And I just look at him and says, hey, Muzzy, that's not what I want prisons for.
They're there to lock you up.
I want prisons to keep those people away from me. And I don't care whether they're rehabilitated or not. I don't care if I don't care if they're afraid to take a shower. I just want them away from me, and prisons serve that need. I don't care about rehabilitation.
Well, he's going to open up all the prisons, my understanding.
Well, I think he does.
That's what they do in Venezuela too, right? So
Well, yeah, but then they send them here.
Yes, that's right. The problem is we are here, so we'll just keep them here.
By the way, I have a gripe with you people.
Oh my!
Mostly Tug though. Mostly Tug.
What's this about a golf tournament?
Oh yeah, we got our tournament on Friday. Are you coming up?
Yeah, right.
Well, then good old Tucker, Georgia. It's our Heritage Golf Links. It's our Veterans Day tournament, 3rd annual, in conjunction with the Warrior Alliance.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invite.
Well, you're always invited. What kind of
here it is.
Free pass to everything.
It's Tuesday, and thanks for the invite.
Okay, common man. Let me tell you the difference in you and I. Whenever you want to walk into that corner office with David Dickey, he looks at you and he's like, oh, hey, Neil. When I walk in, he's like, what do you want?
So, yeah. And you have the flexibility of schedule.
You have the golden ticket.
I haven't seen or heard from him in a year. Does he know I'm still on the air?
I think he does.
I don't think
he checked on us the other day. We had Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr that came into studio, and he came in to come and talk with Chris. I think that was the first time that he verified proof of life for myself in more than a year.
So, Neil, get up here. Come on.
No, I can't.
Why?
Previous engagements.
Okay. Now he throws out previous engagements.
Apparently he's a round of golf in his backyard.
As a matter of fact, this very afternoon, I get my electrophysiologist. You know what that is?
No.
I'm not sure.
What is this one?
That's the Babe, MD.
How you doing?
Who did the ablation on my...
okay, on your heart?
On my AFib, yeah.
Okay.
And she still can't understand why I all of a sudden developed AFib, just basically overnight. So she says, we're going to put a heart monitor on you.
Like one that you keep with you for a while?
Yeah, they use super glue and put it above your left nip.
Wild bee.
Okay.
Or something.
It's gonna be hanging out a while.
Yeah, there you are. So, and how long do I have to wear that? Oh, you won't even know it's there.
Okay, good. I don't know anything about that, so you'll have to forgive me.
I'll tell you next week what it's like because it gets fitted this afternoon.
Okay.
Well, I've heard that there's a lot of, whether it's been RSV or there's other illnesses that have seemed to have caused this AFib to show up in some people, and so it might just be a minor chest cold, and what it just turns into is exactly what you're dealing with.
I mean, but your Apple Watch will do an EKG on you.
Yeah, Tug always has one. That's why the government always knows where he's at.
I think mine's old. Mine's
just tracking Tug no matter where he goes.
None of the apps will even open. Mine's old. So.
You just ended the sentence with the preposition. I cannot believe it. A professional broadcaster.
Oh no, we're not that professional.
We're not exactly. Who have you mistaken?
I mean, I'm the one who always says that the anus is on you to prove it that we're professional.
That's right. I'm a 3-time college dropout.
I got one too. So
don't we all?
But anyway, no. If you give me warning ahead of time, I'll play in that golf tournament next year.
Okay.
I'm still campaigning for a new champion classification at my golf club.
That means that you play some pretty good golf.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
you assume.
When you start asking for a category so you can compete in it,
yes,
that tells me I think all I need to know.
My category is the number of years you've been a member of this club plus your handicap, and that will determine the champion in this particular category.
I like it, but you have to be competitive to even want to
Neil
do that.
just wants the parking spot.
Oh,
okay.
I do.
That champion. Exactly.
I absolutely do.
I feel like you could probably just pay for that, couldn't you? Not have to start a whole new league? Classification?
When I moved down here 18, 19 years ago, I can't even remember when it was, I had a little cash, and so I wanted to join a golf club, and I got a mailer in the mail said, come to this golf club and $35,000 to become a member. And so I went over there and paid my $35,000 that I had set aside for golf.
Can't hide money.
No, can't hide money. And boom, member, been playing there ever since. And it's absolutely one of the 3 or 4 best golf courses in Naples. But yesterday I found out that if you want to join now, it's a 7-year wait and $150,000.
Oh,
wow. Sirs, Neil, buddy.
But then there's another one in the neighborhood where I live that the wait is so long they won't even put you on a wait list. So if you go in there, say you're not going to live long enough. So what's the point?
Wow.
What's the point of putting you on the list?
That's pretty brutal, though. Hey, I was just doing the math here, pal. It looks like you'll be dead.
I feel like we're taking your money, and it's not going to work out for either one of us.
We're gonna look at the statistics here that the insurance company use, and we have determined that you're not going to live long enough to become a member here. So thanks for your interest. Can we treat you to a complimentary lunch? And
they have an actuary that's on site to help them out. I don't know about this one,
buddy. This is a no-go here.
I hear he's got heart issues too.
They got fitted for some sort of device.
Okay, let's get to this food stamp thing again.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
I loathe food stamps. I really do.
Well,
people need to eat. They need to eat, but they don't need to eat prime rib. They don't need to eat sirloin steaks. If you're on food stamps, you ought to be getting surplus foods from the government. You have to shop at low-rent grocery stores. Aldi, I'm looking at you. There should be special lines, checkout lines for people with food stamps or SNAP or whatever the hell they call it, where everybody else in the store can look over there and see those are the people I'm buying their food too, and staples only. But I'm getting irritated with these people always go, well, the majority of people on food stamps are white. Duh. Yeah.
There's more of us.
But that is a completely useless statistic. I mean, telling me that there are more white people on food stamps than there are sub-Saharan Nubian Americans, that is a totally useless statistic. Tell me what percentage of white people are on food stamps versus a percentage of Hispanics versus a percentage of the black population. That statistic means something, and it seems to be left out of all of these whining little columns about, well, most of the people on food stamps are white, and that makes you a racist. Oh, yeah? So anyway, but I know people need to eat, and I have failed in my attempt so far to go by a Walmart, for instance, and find somebody that I know can't afford the food they'd really like to put in their basket. And I say, come on, let's go shopping. And I'd love to do that. It would make me feel good, make them feel good. But I do not like the idea of the government using its police power to seize money from Americans, citizens, residents, to take their money away, say, we have decided you do not need this money, we're going to give it to that family over there, and they're going to use it to buy food. That woman over there that's complaining, I have 7 children and they need to be fed. And it's not the government's place to take money from one person by force, and give it to another so they can buy high-priced groceries. And by the way, down here at the various TV stations that were covering this food stamp thing, some of the stuff I saw these people putting in their baskets, cakes. Why the hell do you need food stamps to buy a freshly decorated cake?
Well, they're high-calorie families, Neil. They just need the extra calories. I'm going to give you 2 numbers. I'm going to give you 2 stats. If you want to use them for a commentary, you don't even have to give me credit, okay? These are from 2020.
Probably wouldn't.
Don't worry.
Okay, I stole from somebody else. Neil stole from me. If you steal it from Neil, you've stolen 3 times. All right, so here are the numbers on 2023. So out of the 42 million people that are receiving SNAP benefits, 28% of SNAP households had no earned income in 2023. Zip. Zilch. Nada. Here's the other number. 34% of SNAP households had children, which means 66% of them have no kids at all. So when they tell you you're starving families, it's a minority number. It's a small number. What the media has created is not the realization. What it is these are, by and large, people that are at home and not doing a damn thing.
And have no desire to change that whatsoever.
How many people have you seen interviewed on this food stamp crisis? I'm not going to get a job. I don't want to have to go get a job. I mean,
a lot of them.
They flat out stated, I don't want to get a job.
72% of them had 0 income in 2023, and only 34% of them actually had children in the home.
Hand up, we're willing to do. Hand out, I'm tired of.
Look, I think that people ought to be exposed. They ought to be humiliated when they get in line to use money seized from somebody else to buy their food. And another thing, and this is on my commentary this morning, Donna and I, when it gets to be 95 degrees down here and 140% humidity, we'll go to the local mall. We become mall walkers. On a bad day, we're mall moseyers.
Okay.
But look at the women coming by with the baby carriages. Now, there's 2 types. There's women pushing baby carriages, and there's women pushing puppies.
Right.
The puppies I love.
Yes.
But when they walk by with their babies, take a quick look at their left hand, because it's on the handles for the carriage. See how many of them have a wedding ring.
Yes, well, probably.
Yeah.
Very few.
It's rare.
Yeah, very few.
It's rare.
Makes sense.
Sounds like a target-rich environment. I understand why you walk there, Neil. Awesome.
Neil Ford's the talk master.
You walk to one end of the mall, you get a Starbucks. The manager there doesn't like me now because I insist they call out my name, Dirtbag, for me to pick up.
I'm sure they do love that, Neil. We're
gonna miss pick it up and you're Dirtbag.
We're gonna miss you on Friday. You should change your mind and come on up.
No.
Come play golf.
No. You're gonna get me a private jet up there and back? I ain't dealing with TSA during this mess going on.
Yeah, that's true too.
There you go. I guess you're right. Neil Bort's the talk master, only on Extra 106.3.
But over Christmas, I will be stayed at a hotel very near you.
Okay, well that means we need to have you in
using your discount.
Let's go. I love that. Thank you, Neil. Gotta have the discount. Staying here at the Battery. Good heavens. As the sun comes up, looking out over the Battery, Atlanta, Tug and Los until 10 here on Extra 106.3. When we come back, you must keep in mind that the FBI has always been political. That discussion next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. The initial rankings are out For the college football playoffs, Ohio State tops the rankings with Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama rounding out the top 4. Georgia checks in at number 5. As for Georgia Tech, they did make the initial top 25. The Atlanta Hawks, they're now 4-4 on the season after a 127-112 win at home over the Orlando Magic. The Hawks are now off until Friday when they host the Toronto Raptors. And the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. The Atlanta Falcons have released kicker Parker Romo after his missed extra point last weekend. The team has reportedly added kicker Zane Gonzalez to the roster. That's now their 3rd kicker this season. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
So it's chilly outside, and it's going to get colder. Walking into the studio this morning with Jeray, and he tells me, because I was complaining, it's cold outside. It's cold. I don't like this weather. I should have been born on the equator where it's hot all the time because that's what I like. He tells me that the next week the weather's going to get even colder. And then you start thinking about, okay, how do I keep the house comfortable, especially with the colder weather headed our way? Well, you need to call my friends at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Chuck and his team, they've been keeping Atlanta homes comfortable since 1947. Right now, they're helping you with comfort and savings. Whether it's fixing those hot and cold spots throughout the house, improving air quality, upgrading insulation or ductwork, or installing a small thermostat, they can do it all. Central's experts help you and your family and your system run efficiently all season long. Right now, you can get one of these rare specials that come with a rebate and 0% financing. All while staying warm at the house is great. And Chuck and his team are fantastic to work with. I recommend them to everybody that asks. Call your Atlanta carrier experts, Central Heating and Air Conditioning, 770-GET-HEAT, or go to centralheat.com. That's centralheat.com.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Go beyond just a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans have never seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today. And did you know Truist Park can host your next event? As a year-round facility, we host private events ranging from corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it, Truist Park can host it. Visit Braves.com/events to get started on creating an experience like never before with one of Truist Park's unique venues. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. We have an important announcement. We've moved to a new location to serve you better. That's right, Atlanta Safe House has moved to a new location in Alpharetta. So come check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands include Browning, Fort Knox, Champion, and many more. So stop by their showroom today or go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com. And remember, at Atlanta Safe House, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Political violence cannot stand. And Extra 106.3 will continue on as the conservative voice of reason in Atlanta. We'll speak our mind, protect our values, and stand up for each other responsibly. Count on the Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, the Kimmer, and the legend Neil Boortz to always have your back. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. Glad that you're here. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms.
Yay, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Look, the celebration.
Welcome to the end of the 6 o'clock hour.
That's right. As we wind down 6 and head into 7. The FBI has always, Los, been a political organization. They've always had politics that have run in and out of that place.
I'll tell you, as we have been digging into this and seeing the story with James Comey, and I'll get into this in some greater detail later on in the show, but the FBI has always been an organization where, when it was founded and when it was created, yes, it's your primary law enforcement organization, but they operated always as we are our own independent organization that's just as important as anything else that falls under the header of the state. And so the only difference that has occurred in recent years is that the more leftists that were placed in there, the more they tended to obviously go to the left. They used the media in order to accomplish some of the goals that they were looking to do. When you see some of the information about what James Comey was involved in and how all he was doing was basically floating information to the media for the basically leaking, information for them to publish it, to then go to a judge that they knew was friendly and say, hey, here's the information we got. This is why we need to look into Donald Trump, and then to get a sign off. That's the epitome of what the FBI has become. It was always their own independent organization that was doing their thing. It just turned into a leftist Gestapo propaganda sort of situation.
And it's all written down in notes that were discovered in 5 burn bags in a skiff.
Boys in trouble there.
Buddy, I'm telling you. He took all the notes, and it's all in his handwriting. And it was funny because he, if you recall, it was a few days ago when he went to the court and asked them to dismiss the case. And so the lead prosecutor on this started publishing what they had found just in the skiffs. So if they're publishing that and it's that damning, where he's saying one day Hillary, when she's president, she's going to be glad we did it this way. All that stuff. Can you imagine what they didn't release? If they released all that and it's that damning in his own handwriting, can you imagine what they have that he doesn't even realize?
Yeah, James Comey in his own letterhead is talking about the illegal server that Hillary Clinton had. And as he put it, President Clinton will be pleased with the way we handled it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As in, she's going to win, and I'm going to make sure to be on the right side of this thing.
That's right.
Because that's who he's aligned with. I think it's fascinating when you see that, Kash Patel and the official office of the FBI, they don't post a lot. It's just, here's some information. Hey, we stopped a situation in Michigan where there was going to be a terrorist attack. There's very little they post. But one of the things that Kash Patel and that organization did post in the last 24 hours was, I'll tell you, or ask me how I found this.
Yeah.
And it was referring to the information that was found in a back room, in a hidden room, in a locked room, where it was James Comey's own notes, and they were supposed to have already been destroyed.
Yeah, they were in burn bags, meant to be destroyed. Somebody forgot to do it. They left them there.
Is that not the epitome of government?
Yes,
Tug?
inefficient. God just forgot to do it. Sorry about that, James. Now you're going to have to go to jail. You know?
Well, looks like you're headed to prison. My bad.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that to you.
Sorry, I forgot to burn your handwriting,
dude. Because
on your coup on America.
No question. And Catherine Herridge is who I follow on Twitter, and she does incredible work. If you're looking for somebody, it's C_Herridge, HERRIDGE. You probably remember her from years ago on Fox News Channel. Then she moved over to CBS, and then now an independent journalist. But in those burn bags records about the Mar-a-Lago search, the breach at the Capitol, Crossfire Hurricane, the Trump-Russia collusion, there's so much in there dating back to 2016, and they all have James Comey's fingerprints or handwriting all over them. This dude is so screwed. It's like he has to know, because he knows what he did. He knows all of this stuff exists. He thought it was burned. He thought it was destroyed. He thought it had been gotten rid of. But now he is like, oh God, I am in so much trouble, and he knows it.
Well, as the kids say, he's cooked.
Yeah, that's it. You talk cooler than I do.
Well, but you and I both talk a little bit of teenager, a little bit of a youthful kid.
Yeah.
And if you and I had been involved in some sort of illegal activity, the only goal would be, please don't know about all of it.
Yes, yeah, right.
Okay, and James Comey was like, maybe they'll only know a little bit.
Yeah, well,
he found out.
Yeah, the little bit that they've released tells me that they've got even more, and he knows it too. That's the thing, dude. When you know you're had, that feeling in your stomach, that lump in your throat, he's got that every day because he's so screwed. Or cooked, as Los and the teenagers would say.
Cooked.
He's cooked. When we come back on Extra 106.3, the phony socialist gets a big win in the big red apple. Next on Extra.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
More than intelligent, it's thoughtful. Not just spacious, it's sensuous and stylish. It's indulgent, yet outgoing. Foundationals to the GLC SUV is a turbo hybrid power, intelligent digital cockpit, and MBUX with routines. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 SUV. Just $549 per month for 36 months with $5,003 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, now through December 1st. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through December 1st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPsETC.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A doctor from Brazil who dresses his patients up in superhero costumes to make them feel comfortable before surgery makes today's Dean's List. Dr. Leandro B. Guimarães is an ENT, and he remembers one of his patients a few years ago who was just 2 and was so scared as she was heading into the operating room that she could not stop crying. So he made a promise to himself that he would do everything he could to make sure his littlest patients parents were as comfortable and strong as they could be. His idea was to have superhero costumes that they could wear in the hospital. The kids get to pick which one, and then he tells them they will go in flying as he helps them get stronger. The doctor also encourages parents to join them in the operating room if the child is still nervous, but so far, everything seems to be working. He also runs alongside to help them feel less scared and records the video to show their families how brave they were. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Fox Country.
I'm Michelle Polino. The pre-sale ticket window opens for Morgan Wallen's 2026 Still the Problem Tour with 21 stadium shows. Wallen will play 11 cities with 2-night stops in Minneapolis, Las Vegas, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, and more. The only single-night show on the tour is set for Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Each show will feature 3 rotating opening acts. Headlining support comes from Thomas Rhett, Hardy, Ella Langley, and Brooks and Dunn. General sales begin Friday. More than 20 years after Gretchen Wilson's breakout hit Redneck Woman, the Grammy winner is now re-recording her 2004 debut album, Here for the Party, as an all-star duets project on her own Redneck Records label. Tanya Tucker will join her on Redneck Woman. Cody Johnson will feature on When I Think About Cheating, and Wilson says Miranda Lambert and Travis Tritt are also on board. That's Fox Country on Fox News.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 1063.
The candidates claim victory. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani pledging to stand up to the president.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
Fox's CB Cotton has more on New York City's mayoral race.
His closest competitor in the polls, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, called his own run, quote, the right fight to wage. Cuomo, who had President Trump's last-minute endorsement, narrowed the gap in the final days of campaigning, but it was not enough. Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa remained a distant third for most of the race. Last night when he conceded, he said if socialism is implemented, quote, we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemy.
Mamdani's agenda includes free public transportation and a rent freeze. A Democrat takes back Virginia.
Former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger said she knows she'll have a hard job as Virginia's governor and showed her gratitude to the voters.
Thank you for showing up in every corner of Virginia. Thank you for diving deep on policy.
The woman she defeated, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, also expressed gratitude for the opportunity Virginians gave her 4 years ago.
You believed in me, you who voted for me and who worked so hard to make our dream for Virginia come true.
Spanberger will work with slim Democratic majorities in her state's legislature, which she hopes will grow in next year's midterms. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Another Democrat wins in New Jersey, where Mikey Sherrill claims victory in the governor's race.
This was a tough fight, and this is a tough state. But I know you, New Jersey, and I love you.
Her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, had the backing of President Trump. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Coffee, keys, and Extra 1063. That's how I get to work and home.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 1063 the day after. We went to the polls, and when you look at everything that happened, the Democrats pretty much swept. Now, I mean, let's be reasonable. New Jersey's a blue state. Virginia's, for the most part, a blue state. And with California and Prop 50, not surprising. I mean, it's as liberal as it gets. Mamdani, we've been telling you for months and months and months and months that Mamdani was going to win.
He won months ago.
Absolutely, dude. We knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. So all these people, including Vivek Ramaswamy, who was like, we got our asses kicked last night. Okay, yeah, I guess you could say that. But you knew what was coming. It's not a surprise at all. The biggest surprise, and I think you said it last hour, Los, was the Jay Jones, the AG.
Yeah, the AG
that's
in
the
Virginia.
only one.
That's the only one where I would say, oh, look what happened there.
Yeah.
Because even the polling had him significantly behind.
Right.
But, and I think this is worth pointing out every single time we can, when you look at voter turnout, it was overwhelmingly liberal, young, white women. Okay? In New York, went hardcore for Mamdani. Same thing in Virginia. Same thing in California. Same thing in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so that is your primary rival as of now.
Absolutely,
the people,
it is.
The people that disguise madness for compassion. That is who your rival is right now.
Yeah, you have to take that into consideration. Does it suck that Glenn Youngkin wasn't followed up by?
Does it suck that you have an attorney general of Virginia that fantasizes about killing your opponent's children and he gets elected?
That's freaking crazy with a capital C. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And yet those white liberal women, they're like, yeah, of course. And I mean, those are the people that could actually have children and birth them and nurture them and raise them, and yet it was them that elected the guy. You want to talk about the strangest, most self-sabotaging, self-loathing people in the world? It is them. That's why they're angry all the time. They're always pissed about something. They're always behaving in a way that drives normal people like you and me crazy.
Well, they are the ones that are doing the destruction of the country as of now. You know, these are the box wine, cat ladies. Everything that J.D. Vance said is actually spot on.
Yeah.
And so when they turn out, and the numbers will show you that's exactly what happened, where the polling in Virginia especially did not accurately get what was happening, which was in the polling, here the attorney general on the Republican side is going to win. Yet that person gets overwhelmed because of the turnout of the liberal cat lady.
Dude, I would say there's three categories of people that are trying to destroy the United States. The liberal cat lady is for sure leading the charge, right? She's the one on the horse, in the head of, when the leader of the army back in the day, when they had their swords and shields, and she was on the horse in the beginning, like she was leading the charge.
Yes, the Joan of Arc of the destruction of America is a liberal cat lady.
Great. Yeah, that's a good poll. But then followed closely behind by the communists and the Islamists, because those two hate each other, but they hate America equally. And it's an enemy of my enemy. How's that?
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There we go. Gosh.
Which is a proverb that didn't work out really well for the person who talked about it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So anyway, if I hadn't fumbled it, thank you for picking me up, Los.
No, you're doing great.
But you know what I mean. That's like the evil Trinity. It's the exact opposite of the Trinity in the Bible. It's the cat lady comic and Islamist.
Do you have box wine? Do you have cats?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. I get where we're going here.
How about some rent control? Can we get that in there? Because we'll take that. It's absolutely crazy.
And there is a difference in what happens, because suburban white women ended up breaking significantly for Donald Trump at a much higher rate than what we saw in the bogus 2020 election. And part of it was because they were bearing the brunt of all the prices and the inflation and all the issues that were going on with
affordability. He was like, we got to drop identity politics, which I don't know that we really focus on that. Maybe somebody does. At least on this show, we don't. But affordability is something that he's absolutely right. And I do believe the president is working on that. I think as the Supreme Court takes up the issue of his tariffs, and I do believe they will rule in his favor, that is going to energize the United States and the economy for next year that'll put the Republicans in good shape as we head into the 2026 midterm. So I think if that works out the way that I suspect that it will, Los, affordability is going to be a thing within our reach, within our grasp, because we've put up with government spending that has caused inflation and higher costs on everything: energy, food, healthcare, everything that we need, the foundational stuff that matters, the reason people come out to vote. So that'll be good in the midterms, but we've got to make sure that is in place, because if that were to go the other way, it will be completely detrimental to everything that Donald Trump's put in motion.
Well, you just want to make the argument. And I think what has gone on with this shutdown is that the left, as they intended to do, have stymied momentum. And that was by design, to make sure that the string of victories that Donald Trump has had suddenly takes a back seat to, okay, look at all the suffering going on. All right. Once this thing is over with, and if Ted Cruz is right, this thing is over with as of the next 48, 72 hours at the very worst, early next week, then it's about what's the next round of legislation, because everything is building towards next November. We're now 1 year in order to continue to make the argument as to why you need to make sure that these crazy people, in a lot of cases, do not have power and do not have influence over your life.
You need to rally the people that are in your friend group, or they're in your family group, or in your church group. You must stress to them the importance of getting out and voting, because with the way it turned out in Georgia with the two public service commissioners, losing those two seats, absurd in the state of Georgia that would happen. But so many people sat on their hands and did not get out and vote. And now we've lost them. Do we have the majority on the majority on the Public Service Commission? We do. It's 3-2 now. But if you continue to sit on your hands, that erodes. And it happens at every stop. It doesn't matter if it's the school board. It doesn't matter if it's your county commission, your city council, state politics, state house, state senate, and then moving all the way up, man. If you do not stress the importance, and if you need to, show them what happened in New York City, where a socialist is now the man that is running the financial heartbeat of America, a socialist. It is absolutely crazy. If you would have told me the day after 9/11 that would have happened, I would have called you a liar. I would have called you crazy. I would have said, you are out of your mind. And now, 24 years later, here it is.
Well, give them credit. The Democrats saw an issue that was going on, which was the polling is bad, the amount of energy is bad, let's shut down the country. And let's make people, starve, and again, I'm using the finger quotes on this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But this was done in order to create voter turnout, in order to create energy, because the issue that they were having was that, according to their polling and according to what has been out there, they were not fighting hard enough. And so they weren't worth showing up and voting for.
Yeah.
With a shutdown, it's in your face.
Yeah.
It was right there. And that's what they were able to use to monopolize the situation, to create the turnout that they needed. And so, again, credit to them. They were willing, and hopefully they pay for it on the other end, where when the rest of America actually goes, wait a minute, so you decided to shut down the country and to cut off my benefits or cut off my pay or to create my 3 or 4 hour wait at the airport just because you wanted to win some random elections?
Yes. That's exactly why they did it.
And the answer is yes.
They 100% did it that way. How many times have we talked about chaos benefiting the Democrat Party, chaos benefiting the socialists, the communists, the Marxists? They always benefit from chaos. That is why they've done what they've done, and that's why I don't care what happens with this shutdown, but the Republicans better have spines of steel. They do not negotiate with these people. They do not give in. I want them to make sure, especially in light of what happened last night, you better not give in. For me as a voter, that would piss me off worse than anything else right now. You do not give in. You make them give in, because we are in the right when it comes to the government shutdown. They want billions of your taxpayer dollars to be used for things that shouldn't be used for. I refuse to bend on this, Los.
Well, and I will say this. Every now and then, and I enjoy that it is in this kind of a off-year election. Every now and then you need a reminder of how dangerous these people are.
Yeah, well, we got it.
And you'll get to watch it, and we get to watch it on the biggest of stages when it comes to New York. And so it's going to be that perfect example that by the time we get around to midterms and the next election, it's a reminder of this stuff don't work. All right?
Never has. Never will.
Never has.
Never will. And that's the thing that I'm so... When I see Miranda Devine, who I have a lot of respect for, she says, I'm sick of people saying, who live in other states, saying and mocking New Yorkers, saying we deserve Mamdani. The majority of New Yorkers reject him. It's only close because of the rational vote is split. What? No, it's not. That's not it at all. I don't believe that at all. And I like Miranda Devine. I don't believe that at all. I believe they came out and voted overwhelmingly for Mamdani.
Miranda, she's trying to pretend like there's some sanity there.
That's exactly right. You're telling me a guy that killed 15,000 people during COVID? You're telling me that was the best alternative that New York could come up with? That's the best you could come up with? Andrew freaking Cuomo? Get out of here, Miranda Devine. You're nuts for even tweeting that 20 hours ago.
I mean, it got to the point where you had to make a decision between the guy who killed thousands of grandparents versus the guy who's a devout communist.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That was your argument. That was the side where you're like, oh, hey, there's a lot of rational people here in New York.
Horrible take. And look, I'm just blown away that many people would look at socialism and say, yeah, I know they've killed 170 million people worldwide. I know that, but they won't do that here. It won't happen here. This is America. Nothing can happen to us in America. Nothing's ever happened to us, and nothing will happen to us. And that's where I call BS, because I say you're exactly wrong. This is where it springs up. This is where the roots take place, and the DSA will be incredibly emboldened. Now that they've done it in the biggest city, the heartbeat, the financial heartbeat of America, they've elected a socialist. They will try this everywhere, in places that you will never expect them to try it and won't be anticipating it being tried, and maybe just win. I'm telling you, man, this is bad for America, dude.
This is a coastal issue. You're going to have the Portlands, the Seattles, San Franciscos, New Yorks of the world, where this is going to happen regularly. And Mamdani is just going to be a symptom of what the disease is. And the disease is that the Democrat Party has moved towards communism. That's very simply what it is.
There's no doubt.
There is no such thing as a democratic socialist. All right? You're either communist socialist or you're not.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right. But it's a good name. It softens it a little bit.
Well, and how does Mamdani always sell it to you? He sells it to you as, well, me, just like Dr. King, this is the way I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm like, well, let's dig into that a little bit. Part of the reason why Dr. King started singing the songs that he was doing is because the FBI was all over his ass.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's like the government had already gotten involved in what he was involved in, and were like, you need to either kill yourself or you need to come our direction.
Goodness gracious. And Mamdani, a guy that says, in his speech last night, in his victory speech, he said there's no problem that government can't solve. That's a mentality that is anti-American as it gets, because government is the problem in every situation. The government shutdown, that's a government issue. Government with USAID before it was shut down. Laundering money back to Democrat candidates, that's a government problem. Government is always the problem. The mentality of government can fix everything, I reject that completely, because government is 99% the problem.
Well, government, if it stays out of the way.
But it never does, Los.
It's useful.
It never happens.
Not with the way he wants to use it.
Yeah,
I mean that's the difference. If you let a free market economy deal with an issue, that free market economy will end up finding, and the way that water finds the lowest point, it's going to find its level to where everything works out. That is why we've always been so much about hands off, Just let the people, let the economy figure it out, and we'll find. I mean, it's like the idea of assigning value to something. Just because you say, let's say you're a company and you say, my product's worth $200. What the marketplace says it's worth $50, it's worth $50. That's the idea of how this works. Whereas Mamdani is talking about the implementation of government, which at that point you're picking winners and losers. Yes. I mean, that's what he's talking about doing as of now.
Yes. And then, he's already said what that we got to raise taxes. This is coming, and I wrote it down when I heard it last night, and it blew me away. It was that taxes, that's not theft. Capitalism is theft. Dude, this is what?
It's going to be so good.
No, it's not, Los. It's not. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I don't live there with these people.
You're about to get a bunch of them here. I mean, if the New York Post...
Good. Guess what? The ones that are mobile, that are like, hey, I need to get to a free state.
Yeah.
Head on over here. It's the same. I saw the numbers on it, and Glenn Beck had a gentleman on who's talking about it. There's been $1 trillion of economic influence that has moved to Florida in the last 5 years with the start of COVID.
Yeah. No,
it'll come your way. And Florida's blood red.
Right. Absolutely. It will. And that's the early wave, right? The people that can afford to move. But what happens when the next wave of people that come down that can't? They just get in their car and drive, and then government assistance is going to be used because those people can't afford.
Stop it, Tug. He's going to build a wall and keep them in. That's what communists do.
So you might be right about that. Freaking a Berlin Wall in New York City to keep people in, and they will shoot them trying to leave. My God.
I've seen the Batman movies when they blow up the bridges. Like, why are the bridges all blown up? Because you got to stay here.
Because you can't leave. Dude, you may be right about
Gotham is trapped.
You may be right about that. So good. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. See, we can even laugh in the face of just bad news. We can even find a way to laugh. And we hope that you will laugh along with us and discuss this along with us at 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. When we come back, James Comey is the subject of Story Time with Front Office Los. You don't want to miss it. You cannot miss it next.
President Trump is restoring freedom, bringing justice back to America, and restoring power to the people. And the conservative voice of Atlanta has his back and will always bring you the national and local voices you need when it matters most. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Oh, free. It's a big discussion this morning of things being free. The one place it is free, at least for some family, is with Southern Exteriors. Obviously, they're covering the cost, them and their partner, James Hardy, because nothing is free. But they are going to cover the cost for you. And one very lucky family that needs a new siding remodel on their home. We did this last year with a roof. It was unbelievable. The response was gigantic. The giveaway was incredible. The tears of joy when a family found out that Southern Exteriors was going to replace their roof. Now they're going to do it with that James Hardy siding. But you got to get registered by December 1st at southernexteriors.co. Please get the website right. southernexteriors.co. If I need to scream it, I will. southernexteriors.co. Get registered. It can be a family member. It can be a friend. Or maybe it's you. If you need that full siding replacement, remodel, let Southern Exteriors, along with James Hardy Siding, cover that cost for you for Christmas. southernexteriors.co. Top left corner, there's a red button, Christmas giveaway. You click on that, and then you fill out the entry there. southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co.
You need a pre-owned car or truck, but you don't need the headache of searching for one. Spending hours calling dealerships, then spending half the day filling out paperwork.
Come on.
You need the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, this is Tom from the Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee you each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale, showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be, because you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagen was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagen, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagen. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagen-law.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. Election results are in. Democrats won in the statewide race for 2 seats on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Alicia Johnson and Peter Hubbard replaced 2 Republicans who still hold 3 of the 5 seats on the commission. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens won his re-election campaign, as well as all the incumbents on the Atlanta City Council. Mayor of Marietta, Steve Tumlin, was also re-elected. Cobb County leaders are considering a new amendment that would make it easier for police to manage homeless camps on private property. If approved, it would be similar to an ordinance already in place in the city of Marietta. Currently, the police cannot intervene without the property owner's presence. The new amendment would require individuals to have written permission to camp from the property owner. And Forsyth County firefighters rescued a 10-year-old girl who was stuck in a tree. Rescue workers say she was 30 feet off the ground. 4 units responded to the call, removing tree limbs and raising ladders to get to the girl. She was back on the ground safe with no injuries in 45 minutes. Today's weather, sunny and warm with highs in the mid-70s. It looks like we'll have our first freeze of the season early next week. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
It's like a little bit that the kid that makes some notes and hope that mom and dad never find those notes, so they quickly wad them up and throw them in the garbage. Or maybe it's they brought home a test score that they didn't want their mom and daddy to know about. And they either forged the signature trying to take it back to school and hope that the teacher doesn't notice or something along those lines. That's the way we'll lead into a story time with Front Office Los about James Comey.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Thank you to the bad man that is Jeray and the good man that is Tug.
Oh, you're too kind.
Kind of appreciate the bad man right now.
He's just a
bad man.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He's a bad man.
That's right.
This is also as you were pointing out, Tug. This is the reason why, as Jeray has his own, collection that he's acquired, basically through. I would say it was bequeathed to him, but there's a reason why you kept nudie magazines out in the woods. Okay? and not like at your home when
Yes.
we were kids.
That's right.
Because I didn't want to have this tracked back to me.
See, that's the better example. I like that example because who didn't do that at least once in their young child? If you're a dude, anyway. I don't know the women did it, but guys did, definitely.
Didn't we all find
Yes.
a nudie magazine out in the woods, and we're like, oh, okay.
And if it wasn't yours, it was your friend's, but you knew where to find it.
And you would never take it home.
Absolutely not. Be crazy.
So
Your mama find that and beat you senseless. God, my mama would have beat me to death.
So I was watching a documentary over the last couple of days, and let me just save you the time here. It's on Netflix. It was doing very well. It's Eileen, and it's on Eileen Wuornos, the woman, the serial killer in Florida who murdered 7 men. And what it's really trying to do is kind of humanize her a little bit, because the first person that she did murder, it looks more and more, and the news and the information's always been out there, it looks like this person raped her, sexually assaulted her, and she decided, I'm shooting and killing you. And from that point on, she snapped, and it turned into, I'm shooting and killing and robbing everybody. Like that's just how that all kind of came about. But there was something interesting in the documentary, and I never knew about this because I never followed the case in this way. What happened was they were going to try her 7 different times. And during the very first trial, this is where the introduction of I was raped, I was sexually assaulted, it was self-defense, here's what's going on. And the state was like looking around like, oh, hell, we didn't see this coming. I mean, yeah, she seems like she's nuts. She seems like she's definitely off center. She's not right in the head. But we didn't see this defense coming. And so what did they do? They decided, whether legal or not, and that's kind of the discussion point, was they decided to introduce the 6 other murders. So she's sitting there arguing the first one over, here's what happened, it's self-defense, I was raped, this occurred, and the state suddenly goes, hey, those other 6 trials we're doing, no, this is going down right now. And so that information was introduced into her first trial. That's why she was convicted. And so basically it was she played a card, and the state decided, all right, if you want to play that card, we're going to slam you with more information. That is exactly what's happened to James Comey.
Yes, sir, it is.
James Comey attempted to try and get his case thrown out on the idea that I'm being persecuted, that I'm the victim here. I'm the Eileen Wuornos. I know what I did might look like it's bad, but here's the reason why. And what then occurred was a smashing to the highest degree. Now, one of the things I want to point out, and this is the hubris of this, I had never heard of Reinhold Niebuhr.
Neither had I till a couple days ago.
So Reinhold Niebuhr was born in 1892. He died in 1971. He was born in Missouri, ended up dying in Massachusetts, and he was basically, for lack of a better term, he was a theologian, but he was a scholar. He was a public intellectual, is probably the easiest way to put it forth. This man talked about Christianity. He is basically the inventor of what is the serenity prayer. God, give us grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed.
Love that prayer.
Yeah, and he has an influence when it comes to politics. Martin Luther King Jr. is influenced by Reinhold. Barack Obama, John McCain. I mean, some of these names out there, you're like, okay, well, I don't like that person as a politician, but just understand that's how far-reaching this was. And what it came down to was the moral man acting in an immoral world. That, in fact, he wrote a book in 1932 called Moral Man and Immoral Society. You can go through his writing in the 1950s after World War II. He had a book called The Irony of American History. And what it was we have won the war, but American hubris is going to be our problem. That we need to understand that we are not bigger than all things. That, yes, we won this war and we're the great American society, but that we need to keep our mind in check. Well, that was the name that James Comey was writing under.
Yeah. and the email address too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
he was he saw himself as the moral man in an immoral world, when in reality, from again with all the allegations that are out there and the information of what he was part of, he knew about all of the Russian collusion. He was floating information, leaking information to the public in order for it to be written about so that he could secure the warrants that he needed. He looked at it as, I'm the moral man fighting Donald Trump.
That's exactly right. And you can convince yourself of that if you work hard enough. You can convince yourself that you're doing the right thing, all while doing the wrong thing and writing it down in notes.
I mean, at some point, I don't know if you've ever shot baskets, Tug, and you ever said, Kobe.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Because for that moment, you were Kobe Bryant.
That's right. You're great.
I'm MJ. Like, look at what I'm doing. I'm Michael Jordan. Yeah, I'm doing it like MJ. This man in James Comey firmly believed that he was the moral man in society by what is essentially was a coup. That's what it came down to. And so to see, and like I said, I started this by talking about Eileen Wuornos, where she was like, I'm going to put up this particular strategy. And the state went, all right, well, we're going to vomit all the information we have about you right now. And that's going to be the end of it. I believe that's exactly what happened. James Comey, looked at it as, well, they don't have that many cards. And then he found out they have all the cards.
They have, like to quote Donald Trump, we have the cards.
They have the cards. In fact, if I was James Comey, and again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not going to give him information or suggestions, but what I would say is that you should probably make a deal, brother, and start squealing.
Quickly. I mean, as soon as possible, immediately, if not sooner. That dude is cooked. And the thing that we talked about last hour a little bit is when he asked for his case to be dismissed, the prosecutor just laid out what they found in some burn bags that was so damning, that is so unbelievable when you read through it, that you're like, I cannot believe this man wrote this stuff down. What fool writes this stuff down? The reason he did is because he had people going behind him to throw it into burn bags to be destroyed, never to be discovered. Except the government, like you pointed out last hour, being very inefficient, did not follow through with the plan, and now we have it all. Can you imagine what they have on James Comey if they're willing to share just that little bit that has that much damning evidence?
When Comey attempted to get this trial, all thrown out, the government came forth and said, hey, room 9582 to be specific, that's where we found on the floor 5 burn bags that had all of this information
in a skiff.
All right, like they were very clear. They said, additionally, inside a locked safe within room 9582, investigators located copies of handwritten notes of the defendant when he was the director of the FBI.
Dude, I'm looking at the handwritten notes right now. I mean, it is unbelievable to see some of this stuff written down, and you have to think that he felt so confident that this would never see the light of day. Like, I'm looking at one right now that is dated 9/26/16. He wrote down the date. He's like, yeah, I won't forget this. Make sure I got all my notes all handy. And then when I'm done with them, I'm going to put them in this burn bag and no one will ever, ever know. And damn, things went south. If you're James Comey, you're pissing yourself.
I mean, you're thinking to yourself, you went ahead and believed that you were going to have the power of government behind you at the entirety of the time. I mean, that's the reason why he referred to it as President Clinton.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
That's not talking about Bill Clinton.
No.
That's talking about Hillary's going to be president, and she'll appreciate the way that I've handled this.
That's exactly right, and I'm going to be taken care of.
And I'll be taken care of. And to fast forward and look at it and go, not only are you going to prison, you might be going to prison for a long time.
In his own handwriting.
In his own handwriting, because he actually depended on the inefficiency of government to get rid of the evidence that he actually wrote down on his own.
Yeah, and one of the quotes says, HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, planned to tie Trump meaning tie him to the Russian collusion that will weigh down his entire presidency. And probably, well, I guess at that time, he wouldn't even have been president yet. It would just been running for president. Am I right about that? Hang on. The time, let me make sure that's right. So 2016. But regardless, he knew exactly what he was doing. He thought, this is going to be my golden parachute. I'm going to be celebrated as a hero for these Democrats. I'm going to be celebrated as someone that took the great Nazi, the great Satan, the great dictator out, Los. That's what he was thinking of himself.
I still remember, and this was one of those 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon press conferences, when I remember sitting, and this was at our old studios that we had back off, when we were perpendicular from the King and Queen building over in the Haverty's building. And I remember staring at the television as James Comey comes on and starts explaining all the reasons as to why Hillary Clinton is not going to be prosecuted for her server.
Yep.
For the server that was illegal, that she never should have had, and was passing information back and forth. That was the moment where I was like, that dude dirty. Because I never knew who James Comey was.
There's no need for you to. There's no reason for you to.
But at that point, I was like, that dude is filthy. And I see where they're like, well, we don't want to influence the election. No. They wanted to make sure that they knew who was going to win the election.
Yeah. In his own handwriting, I mentioned NY Times. So me saying I'm going to I'm going to take this to the New York Times, which is our media outlet of choice.
Yes, I'm leaking the information so that I can then get the warrants I need, the wires I need in order to spy on Donald Trump. And by the way, the judge, he's a Obama appointee. He's a friend anyway. He'll sign off on everything as long as we do it this way.
That's exactly right, man. How filthy. And this dude deserves to be underneath the jail. This makes Watergate look like it didn't even exist. It didn't even happen.
Again, I started with the documentary with Eileen Wuornos when, you want to bring that up? Mm-hmm. All right, well, fine. Here's 6 other murders. It's like, no, you want to say that this one was self-defense? Yeah. How about the other 6 dead people? That's exactly what the government did to James Comey. Oh, you want to say this is unfair or some sort of political prosecution? Well, how about all of this? And they just vomited it all up, and all he's sitting there is going, how many years am I going away for?
Yeah,
that's story time.
And he belongs in prison for a really, really long time. And if anything is right, if there's justice in the world, he will get there. He will be incarcerated. And then we'll have no one to blame but himself. Los, another great job with Storytime, as always. Incredible work. That's the stuff you get on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 that you do not get anywhere else on the dial. Point out someplace else that's having this discussion this morning. I'll wait. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. The pain and blame for the shutdown lay at the feet of one party. Can you guess which one? Next on the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. The initial rankings are out for the college football playoffs. Ohio State tops the rankings with Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama rounding out the top 4. Georgia checks in at number 5. As for Georgia Tech, they did make the initial top 25. The Atlanta Hawks, they're now 4-4 on the season after a 127-112 win at home over the Orlando Magic. The Hawks are now off until Friday when they host the Toronto Raptors. And the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. The Atlanta Falcons have released kicker Parker Romo after his missed extra point last weekend. The team has reportedly added kicker Zane Gonzalez to the roster. That's now their 3rd kicker this season. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Takori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
What is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Fox on Tech.
Apple releases its first big update to its new mobile operating system. iOS 26.1 can be downloaded now, and as usual, Apple recommends everyone eligible update their iPhones, at least for the sake of security patches. But the update also adds some features promised by Apple. Within the new liquid glass design, a tinted background for icons is now available, and the update brings support for live translations in AirPods for both simplified and traditional Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Italian. 26.1 brings back a beloved multitasking tool that was done away with when 26 was first released. That's iPad slide over. And for Apple fans hoping to get a new laptop but are afraid it could break the bank, Bloomberg reports Apple is working on building a budget-level MacBook that could retail for less than $1,000. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
It's like when the lamp is broken at the house and mom and daddy walk in the house after a hard day's of work and you and your sibling are standing there and they're like, who broke the lamp? And both of you are pointing at each other and say, well, it's them. It wasn't me. It's them. And that's kind of the way it is with this government shutdown.
Man, I tried to super glue the head on a figurine one time.
That's great.
And Mama figured it out.
Yeah, Mama no fool.
Yeah, it's like me and my buddy Paul Morris. We were like, "You think we're going to get away with this? Probably not."
No, not likely.
It's like, why does its head keep falling off? Huh, it's so strange.
like the bird in Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly. Listen, Harry, I fixed it.
It's good, man. We're all set.
I took care of it.
Yeah, don't you know?
I want to play this from Frank Luntz because Frank Luntz ended up surprising the audience when it was CNN. Noted pollster, non-Donald Trump guy, just, he goes about his business basically pointing out, Frank Luntz famously was like, he ain't getting back in office. He's back in office.
He doesn't always get it right.
He doesn't always get it right, but the numbers and when he puts together these groups, I think it gives you a really decent idea as to what is happening. Here's what Frank Luntz had on the shutdown.
I believe that the shutdown is politically motivated. I believe that if they wanted to, they could find common ground, but they choose not to. And that has hurt the Republican brand, the Republican reputation. Their numbers are down, as you point out in your own polling of Donald Trump. But the numbers that have fallen the worst, to my surprise, are the Democrats. Everyone is being hurt by this. Everyone's credibility and respect. And looking at the government, and the public just looks at this and says, why? Why can't you find some agreement? Why can't you give? Why can't you cooperate? And that's going to be a very big question Wednesday and Thursday when this election is over. It is hurting the Republicans, but it seems to be hurting the Democrats even more.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's not so much, the ballot box is one thing. What is happening is the national perception. Because Democrats won in areas where Democrats win.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing that's not getting covered this morning. Even Vivek Ramaswamy, which I like, was like, well, we just got our asses kicked. Dude, you lost in New Jersey. When's the last time a Republican was elected in New Jersey? Chris Christie forever ago?
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Yeah, come on.
It's just what it is. And so, yeah, do you want to see what the trend lines look like? And the trend lines are Democrats are going to win in Democrat areas that are majority Democrat. Now, if you want to say what an alarming trend line is, that it doesn't matter what you say as a Democrat. As long as you have a D next to your name, no matter what, the cult is going to vote for you.
Yep. That we learned.
You can threaten people's lives. You can talk openly about communism. It's just not going to matter. And so I think when Frank Luntz is pointing this out and he's talking about the damage that's being done, he's talking about regular mainstream America. We're not talking about what happens in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. We're talking about what happens in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about what happens in South Carolina. We're talking about the primary states that end up determining the real power in this country. And that is where, in my opinion, we're going to see the Democrats get hurt, is that when you sit down with regular Americans and you're not in an environment that is heavily liberal, what do they have to say about what's going on? And I think that's what he's talking about. The polling is hurting them.
And as much as the Democrats are celebrating today, and the folks over at MSNBC, we watch that crap so you don't have to, they're just celebrating. It's the greatest thing they've ever seen. They just knew that Donald Trump was the problem, and we're fighting back. We're resisting just like you want us to. What they're not saying, and I guarantee you there are people that are common sense that we may disagree with on policy, but they believe in the First Amendment. They believe in the Second Amendment. They believe in the Constitution. What they see and what you and I see, and I think everybody should see this morning, is that Mamdani is the new face of the Democrat Party. That's what they're carrying into the midterms. And those people that you're talking about, Los, those regular everyday people, not not the Washington type, not the everyday working class American people, they see that and they reject it, resoundingly reject socialism and communism. And that's what the Democrats are putting on this morning as their new face. And they're celebrating it now. Let's see how long that lasts.
Oh, it's a danger. If you believe that this is now the mainstream of the Democrat Party.
And I do.
Well, that's the deal. You've got people like Hakeem Jeffries that are trying to deflect from it. You have John Fetterman that are trying to deflect from it. I mean, there are prominent voices on the Democrat side. This is why I talk about, and we did it yesterday as a story time, there is a civil war in the Democrat Party where it is as splintered as it's been in the party since 1860, where you had the Northern Democrats that believe one thing, the Southern Democrats that believed completely another, and the Southern Democrats are willing to take up firearms to prove that this is how hard they felt about their states' rights. I mean, that's where they're at. And so it's a curiosity of here's the establishment Democrats that are trying to push down, that are trying to keep the radical Democrats in check, but everything is moving more and more towards radicalism.
Yes, and that's why 55% say if they needed to take out Donald Trump, then that's just what would be okay. They would be okay with the 55% of Democrats believe that.
I mean, what is the greatest win for the Democrats from yesterday? It's New York City.
No, without a doubt. I mean, that is the crown jewel.
And that's the radical. Because, again, winning New Jersey, a Republican hasn't won New Jersey, since Chris Christie.
Same with Virginia, man. Youngkin was elected, and that's great, but you can't do consecutive terms. You knew what was going to happen there because of the concentration of people around D.C.
Right, and it's typically purple. It bounces back and forth. Yep. It's not a surprise when the Republicans win it, just like it's not a surprise when the Democrats win it. That's just
how
it goes.
Trump did not win Virginia, too, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the way the state leans.
Exactly. That was not going his direction. And so to the crown jewel of all of this ends up being New York, and they won it with the biggest radical they had.
Yes, they did.
Does that say more about the city, or does that say more about the temperament of the party? Does that say more about the condition that Donald Trump has broken these people to a point where they've turned to communism?
Dude, it tells me all of those things. I think it checks all those boxes, every one of them. That the party, where it is, because he's the new face, where people are as in the fact that they believe free is real. Like, what kind of illusion do you have to live in? What kind of delusion do you have to live in to actually believe that everything is going to be free? Who's going to take care of those apartment buildings when they can't raise the rent to cover all the repairs that need to be done? You as a homeowner know how much repair work you do to your own home every day. Who's going to pay for that, Los? The answer is nobody. The government. We're just going to print money. How's that going to work?
How's that going to work?
It ain't going to work. That's how it ain't going to work.
That's going to be the question for the next several years, Tug. I think you had an answer. How's that going to work?
It ain't going to. Tug and Los until 10. Glad that you're here with us on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Retired newsman Chris Matthews says the country is turning towards one particular politician. Who is it? We'll share with you after a Neil Bortz report and a Fox News update on the Morning Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, they've gone and done it now. New York has elected a communist to be their mayor. If it could be any worse, they've elected a Muslim communist. If he gets his way, and that's a big if, it'll be a disaster for New York City. Confiscatory taxes on high-income New Yorkers, a rent freeze on all rent-controlled properties in New York City. But I use the word if because Mondami can only institute a small portion of his communist agenda without the approval of the New York legislature in Albany. Or is it Albany? Oh, no, wait, that's Georgia. But then again, America's worst governor, Kathy Hochul, or however you pronounce it, endorsed this cretin. And how far will she have to go to keep him on her side so she can be reelected governor next year? And what can you say about the people who would vote for this menace? Free stuff, free stuff, free stuff. They want the buses to be free, which means that they will become traveling homeless shelters. They want their rents to be frozen, and God forbid they want those government-operated neighborhood grocery stores. Just like government schools, you will be assigned to one of these grocery stores on the basis of your address. Wait until you see what a disaster they turn into. But again, still, I am happy this guy won. Somewhere along the line, before this fascination with communism and socialism went too far, the voters need to learn a lesson. They're about to learn that lesson in New York City. In a sick way, this ought to be fun to watch. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
This is Fox on Justice. Victims' lawyers argue failures, even negligence in response to a fire that started around midnight on New Year's Eve, make the city and state of California financially liable for billions in losses because that fire contributed to another that ignited a week later. The lawsuit alleges cell phone video captured by a hiker on January 2nd shows the ground smoldering. Firefighters thought they'd put that fire out the day before, but attorney Trey Robertson says because the state parks department failed to inspect the location where the fire started with thermal imaging and mop-up crews, those embers reignited and became the Palisades fire on January 7th.
There's no evidence that a single state employee did their job, followed their own policy manual, inspected that area where the fire was, knew that these devastating winds were coming.
California Governor Gavin Newsom rejects that claim, saying responsibility lies solely with a 29-year-old man who's been federally charged with setting the initial fire. William Majanes, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Democrats retake Virginia. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. Voters in Virginia elected Abigail Spanberger as governor, the moderate Democrat stressing unity in her victory speech.
I have worked with anyone and everyone, regardless of political party, to deliver results for the people that I serve. And that's because I believe in this idea that there is so much more that unites us as Virginians and as Americans than divides us.
Spanberger won nearly 58% of the vote in defeating Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
We must pray for Abigail. We must pray for our government. You are the government. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. We must pray for our state, and we must pray for our country.
She staked her campaign on economic issues. New Jersey voters keep the state blue.
Today, New Jersey Democrats are celebrating after voters here in Jersey did promote the Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill to be the Garden State's next governor. This race focused heavily on cost of living, but it also is seen as something both parties are looking very closely at in terms of messaging ahead of next November's midterms. Let's get you the numbers from overnight, which shows that Sherrill had no problem defeating the former Republican Assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli. It's notable multiple counties where President Trump saw a surge in support last year flip back to Democrats' favor in this election. Overnight, Ciattarelli spoke to his supporters in Bridgewater, says he called Sherrill to congratulate her on her victory. This was his third time running for governor.
Fox's Mark Meredith. New York City voters put their trust in Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani.
On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City.
He defeated former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. America's listener.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Tired of all the negative media manipulation? Wake up feeling right with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. It is so important to get out and vote. Gosh, it's so important to get out and vote. If you have not learned that lesson by now, I don't know what's going to teach you that lesson. But if I can give you just a quick example, I heard about so this is the city that I live in Alpharetta, which has 68,000 people. The vote yesterday, about 6,800 people. That's all. In a city of 68,000, 6,800 people got out and voted. And one woman that was running for the city council, she won by 11 votes.
Wow.
11 votes put her on the city council of the city of Alpharetta.
I was very happy to find out. So my polling location, and for me, there wasn't really anything that was significant that was on our ballot. But our polling location's actually about, 2 minutes from the house. Now, before, it was like, it wasn't like it was inconvenient, but, it was 10 or 15 minutes, and I would make it a point to go out of my way to go over there. Now, it's right on the corner. There are no excuses.
None.
It's go get your vote in.
None. But the reason I bring this up, 11 people.
What a wild number when you really start breaking it down, that especially off-year elections, this is what makes the difference.
And so it's about 10% of people that went out and voted, and that matches pretty much everything that I've seen nationally, that 10%. So you could have taken and changed the outcome of an election for or against whatever you were voting for or voting voting against. You could have changed it. So many people decided not to. In my city, in the place where I live, only 10% got out, and 11 votes changed the outcome of an election. That's how
wild.
Close it is. And when people say every vote counts, it sounds so cliche. I get it. I've heard it my entire life. But every vote counts, Los.
But this was the idea of the shutdown, was that, and we've gone through the numbers, the polling on our part still continues to say the three areas where Americans on our side are concerned: the economy / inflation, border security, and then safety. And those are the three. On the other side, it's fighting Donald Trump. That is their number one issue.
Yeah.
And so we've had this government shutdown in part to create this unity on their side so that they would show up to the polling place. Because let's face it, for the most part, over the last 10 months, they have got their asses handed to them on a regular basis. And so here was their opportunity to turn some people out in places that they typically win anyway.
Yeah. And it worked.
Or it comes down to 11 people.
Yeah, or it comes down to 11 people. And that's why it's so important for you to because we are now 12 months away from the midterm elections. And that will determine what Donald Trump is able to do. Is he able to put forth an America First agenda and get things done for you, for this nation? Or will it become an absolute disaster and he's not able to get anything done? And it will be, we're going to impeach Donald Trump today. We're going to impeach Donald Trump tomorrow, every week, just like it was in the last term. It will become that again if you don't get out and vote. And if you did vote yesterday, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the rest of the 90% of our community that did not get out and vote. It's unbelievable. That number's unbelievable. There's never been a time that I can recall. I was looking through, because our polling place changed. It actually got closer to us as well, Los.
Oh, there you go.
It was downtown, which is, 7 minutes away, 8 minutes away.
Well, for the cowards of Alpharetta, I don't know.
Come on.
Gotta move it closer.
That's right. They moved it just for me, Los. And they moved it to the school that's right across the street from our neighborhood, which is, I literally on the way home just whipped it in there, voted, went home. Same thing. My wife did the same thing. Coming home from work, whipped it in there, voted quickly, and got home. I don't think there's a time. I can't remember a time because when I was looking for the polling place, I went on, logged on to the state voting website, and it showed me the last several times I'd voted, and I voted in every election. And that's not to toot my own horn. I'm not. I'm not better than anybody.
But that's being active.
But it just because it matters, Los. And I don't understand how 90% of our communities, 90% of the state, 90% of the country doesn't realize how much it matters. How can you miss this?
Well, this is the reason why you are going to get you're going to get a convention in the next 12 months. You're going to get a convention. It'll probably be several nights where this is what's supposed to spark the turnout when it comes to the midterm election. And let's just boil it down. In 12 months, we have a midterm.
Yep.
In 18 months, we have 2 people running for president. That's how quickly it happens.
Yes. There's never it just seems like these days there's never a year that there's not anything that matters. There's not anything that's important. I mean, this was way off. You know, it's not even a midterm election. And 2 public service commissioners were booted. Both incumbents booted off of the Public Service Commission. Those are the people that control how much you pay for your electricity, how much your power bill is. They have the influence over that. And we allowed 2 Democrats that are going to say, we need some solar power.
Yep.
Ask Germany how that's going. Not too damn well.
Ask about the wind programs in Canada.
You're talking about, you're telling me that the wind doesn't blow every day? What? And then those same people are the ones who are like, we got to make sure that we're taking care of Mother Earth. I'm a conservationist, not an environmentalist. I think you pick it up, leave it better than you found it. Environmentalism is a political movement. But those same people that are wanting to use these solar panels, and they love those big, huge turbines that Los was just talking about in Canada, that are not recyclable. They literally take them to the deserts in Arizona and bury them. There's nothing good about this.
I mean, there are graveyards of these places where, and the wild part about it is that the maintenance alone on them, you're like, wait a minute. Why is it costing us this much to maintain this thing?
Instead, we could use clean coal technology, which the president is focused on. We can use nuclear power, which at Georgia Power, that is something that they're focused on with Plant Vogtle. Now you got 2 Democrats involved in that process. I imagine that is not going to go as well as it could have had the 2 incumbent Republicans been reelected.
Well, I will say this, and I am glad that we've now had basically the rise of AI that has killed off this entire climate change deal. I mean, we have now had it where the realization by corporate America and by even just these philanthropists, the Bill Gateses of the world, we need so much power in order to run what's going to be the next technologies that climate change be damned. It's out the window.
Yeah. But do you think just because Bill Gates has said, okay, I know I told you it was going to be the end of the world, but I was wrong.
I mean, what is, okay, so outside of the rise of communism within our country, what's the next great threat from outside the country? It's probably China.
Yeah, without
and what
question.
they're doing. And a lot of it comes down to not only the economy, which China's economy is on its butt. Like they're
in a bad way.
But one of the things they are doing is they are pushing for the implementation and development of energy. Lots of it. I think you were the first one to bring it up with me where you're like, they have 8 new coal plants.
Yeah, but they build 2 new coal-fired plants, I think, a week for every month, and they have for the last couple years.
So that their idea is that when we move into the next phase of development, which is going to require a ton of power when it comes to AI and the stuff it's going to be doing for us in society, they are better suited for it than we are.
Absolutely.
That is where climate change has now gone out the window. And so here's the issue that it comes back to. You need to keep voting for people that understand that. The Democrat Party, by and large, still has not come around to climate change is a myth.
Yeah.
Like, is the climate changing? Yes. Do you have an influence on it? Minimal.
Yeah, so very minimal. Yet the Chinese are still using propaganda and social media and everything to push the climate crazy nonsense, to push solar power, to push wind power. They want the fools that will believe this to continue to try to strap America with that anchor. That way we don't have the energy. We don't have the ability to use AI to our advantage against them as they do that very thing. That's what's happening.
100%.
Dude.
That's exactly what's happening.
You just have to.
Really well said.
Just recognize it. That's all you have to do is recognize it. And it's like 90% of the people that live in our communities and live in our state and live in the country was like, yeah, I mean, it's probably happening, but you know what? I can't go out of my way to go vote today. I mean, I've got other things. I got to get home. I got to cook dinner. And yeah, you know what? My wife and we did the exact same thing. Los did the exact same. His family did the exact same thing. We're not better than anybody, but at least we're paying attention. And I don't feel like many people are paying attention right now.
Well, people don't realize how much you like the sticker.
Oh, yes, right. I post it all the time. Every time I take a picture of it.
I then post it. Here's what. Look at me.
Look how
at me
good
and my sticker.
I am.
Look at what I did.
You know what? I don't even know if they had a table with stickers yesterday.
I didn't see one actually.
But because they knew there weren't going to be anybody that was going to come in to need to get one.
They didn't bust out the stickers yesterday.
No, you knew it wasn't going to be a big turnout when there was no stickers on the table. But Mom Donnie becomes a socialist. You call him a socialist. He's a communist.
He's a communist.
He takes over in January the biggest, 1/10 of the U.S. economy in New York City. I learned last night that New York City has 300,000 employees. The state of New York only has 150,000. That's how big New York is. And look, I think that's inflated. Do we need that many in either way, the state or the city of New York? The answer is absolutely not. But he takes over that. And he's a guy that says there is not one thing, large or small, that government can't fix. That is what New York City is up against. That's the craziness. But I want you to hear from a man who, when he sees Mamdani speak, and when he saw him speak, this man's a legal, L-E-G-A-L, a legal immigrant who assimilated because he and his family love this country. He goes off on Mamdani, calling him a phony, something I'd not heard before. But I looked it up. When you hear what he says, some of the things that I'd not ever heard before, he says, and I looked up to confirm.
My family and we came to the U.S. when I was 7 years old. As you can hear, I have a perfect American accent, as does Zoran Mamdani. And then the other day, I heard him speak in this Ugandan accent. And where did that come from? Just this weird little thing I'd like to point out, that controversy that when he was eating rice with his hands, that's actually very common in the Philippines, but it's only poor Filipinos who do it. And a well-to-do Filipino would not be caught dead eating rice with his hands. Upper-class Zoran Mamdani eating with his hands and that fake Ugandan accent is the phoniest thing I've ever seen. And it just makes my head explode. Even more than the free buses and free this and free that, what makes my head explode is the guy is so phony and nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
That's really well said.
Dude, but because this is a man who experienced that. He appeared to be of Filipino background. And when I looked it up, yeah, it's not normal for people to eat with their hands. It's for very, working class people. Is that bad? No. But this dude didn't grow up working class. That's the phoniness of everything.
He is from a very well-to-do family, as many communists are. That they pretend to be of the people, yet they grow up in relative comfort, if not wealth. In his case, it's part of what goes on. I think that Angel Face, Anna Paulina Luna,
hey girl,
probably had this. Hey girl, what's up? I think she had this nailed like 10 days ago. She's like, he's the ultimate grifter.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, what do you need me to be at what point, and I'll say whatever I need to say in order to secure that power. And to think that when he was on MSNBC yesterday and they're asking him about staples of his campaign, hey, we're going to have government-run grocery stores because we're going to have free food. No, not free.
Cheaper.
It's going to be cheaper.
Just cheaper.
Question affordability in this city. Living here is top of everyone's mind. It has gotten obscenely expensive to live here, to do anything here. So you're proposing free grocery stores, free buses, $30 minimum wage, all of which sounds incredible.
Cheaper groceries, not free groceries.
Excuse me, cheaper groceries.
Oh,
that's a quick pivot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was under the understanding that this was going to be widely distributed.
I thought it was free food, free buses. What you're already changing? What in the world? Who would have expected? Who would have saw that coming, Los?
That is the hardcore grift. That is exactly what the other gentleman was talking about how is no one paying attention, or, I get it. Sometimes you get caught up in a fervor.
Yeah.
And the fervor is that this person is saying all the things that you believe are going to firmly make your life better, which a predominant amount of them he doesn't have the power to actually do.
Yeah.
He is the epitome of we're going to have soda in the water fountains.
Yes.
At my elementary or middle school.
Because doesn't that sound awesome? Instead of water, it's going to kick out Coca-Cola. It's going to be great.
You're going to get all the Coca-Cola you want.
But you're going to spun up like a top. You'll be running and jumping around and having a good old time at school.
You can't have Coca-Cola at home, but if you're at school and you vote me in, you're going to get Coca-Cola in the water fountain.
We got you back. And then we're going to get rid of these stupid police officers. These fellas that are out there making life hard on you. These fellas that are all racist. These fellas that are all terrible. Then he talks about that too, right? He's getting rid of the police in a city that when they talked about the polling last night, they talked about how about 85% of New Yorkers in New York City want more police on the street. They just elected a guy that said, "I'm gonna get rid of them." You know about cutting your nose off to spite your face.
And what was the quote that he had when it came to the prison system?
Oh,
it was yesterday when he brought up how the prison system, it was antiquated and largely unnecessary.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I like the idea of putting criminals away. Why don't you?
And so does that 85% of people that want more cops on the street. That's the reason they want them there. They want to feel safe. They want those people taken off the streets. Mom Donnie's like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, what a wonderful experiment this is going to be. And again, there's a reason why we have 50 Petri dishes. It just so happens that New York is its own Petri dish on its own. You might as well take the rest of the state of New York and people just leave it alone. It's all about what's going on in NYC. And in this case, this is going to be the example for, oh, look, this is what they tried. This is how it failed. Weird how it fails everywhere.
Yes.
Even
no
in
doubt.
the richest city in our country.
Dude, it's unreal to see what people voted for.
I mean, there are people there that are billionaires, Tug.
Oh, I know.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're like, I got to get out of here.
It's a tenth. Yeah, it's a tenth of the American economy. You think about how big the American economy is. 1/10 of it resides in the city that a socialist just took over. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. A white lib lady. She's showing compassion, but it isn't exactly the compassion I like to see. Next on the Morning Extra.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Glenn Beck until noon. Clay and Buck from noon to 3. And The Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. Plus Jesse Kelly from 6 to 9. And Jimmy Vela from 9 to midnight. The voices you need all day with the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagen was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagen, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagen. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagen-Law tugandoslaw.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A doctor from Brazil who dresses his patients up in superhero costumes to make them feel comfortable before surgery makes today's Dean's List. Dr. Leandro B. Guimarães is an ENT, and he remembers one of his patients a few years ago who was just 2 and was so scared as she was heading into the operating room that she could not stop crying. So he made a promise to himself that he would do everything he could to make sure his littlest patients were as comfortable and strong as they could be. His idea was to have superhero costumes that they could wear in the hospital. The kids get to pick which one, and then he tells them they will go in flying as he helps them get stronger. The doctor also encourages parents to join them in the operating room if the child is still nervous, but so far, everything seems to be working. He also runs alongside to help them feel less scared and records the video to show their families how brave they were. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Apple releases its first big update to its new mobile operating system. iOS 26.1 can be downloaded now, and as usual, Apple recommends everyone eligible update their iPhones, at least for the sake of security patches. But the update also adds some features promised by Apple. Within the new liquid glass design, a tinted background for icons is now available, and the update brings support for live translations in AirPods for both simplified and traditional Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Italian. 26.1 brings back a beloved multitasking tool that was done away with when 26 was first released. That's iPad slide over. And for Apple fans hoping to get a new laptop but are afraid it could break the bank, Bloomberg reports Apple is working on building a budget-level MacBook that could retail for less than $1,000. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. Election results are in. Democrats won in the statewide race for 2 seats on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Alicia Johnson and Peter Hubbard replaced 2 Republicans who still hold 3 of the 5 seats on the commission. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens won his re-election campaign, as well as all the incumbents on the Atlanta City Council. Mayor of Marietta, Steve Tumlin, was also re-elected. Cobb County leaders are considering a new amendment that would make it easier for police to manage homeless camps on private property. If approved, it would be similar to an ordinance already in place in the city of Marietta. Currently, the police cannot intervene without the property owner's presence. The new amendment would require individuals to have written permission to camp from the property owner. And Forsyth County firefighters rescued a 10-year-old girl who was stuck in a tree. Rescue workers say she was 30 feet off the ground. 4 units responded to the call, removing tree limbs and raising ladders to get to the girl. She was back on the ground safe with no injuries in 45 minutes. Today's weather, sunny and warm with highs in the mid-70s. It looks like we'll have our first freeze of the season early next week. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta Carrier experts. Call
help
Chuck.
Me, Tug.
Well, yes.
Help me, Tug.
Are you okay? What is it? Who is this that I'm
My cat is stuck in the tree.
Oh no! I used to climb a tree pretty good, but I'm afraid I'd break the branches these days. I'm a little heavy. Maybe we call the fire department. They're gonna run the ladder up there and get your cat out of the tree.
Isn't it awesome that the fire department still like swings in? It's like, you're way up in a tree. We got to get you out of here.
Yeah, that's right. They use the ladder to get the. And this, you're saying cat. This is actually a little girl,
It's
right?
a little girl.
Yes, goodness gracious,
10-year-old girl. They actually said it was the second time they've had to do this year.
Same kid or different kids?
No, different kids.
Oh, okay, but
you got a problem out there in Forsyth County, Los.
Goodness,
Yeah,
they forgot how to climb trees out there.
No, we like climbing trees. You get up to a certain point and you kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Well, climbing trees, there's 2 parts to this. You go up,
and then you gotta come back down.
You got to come down.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
How you come down is up
gotten
to you.
yourself in a position where you're like, I'm not really sure how I'm getting out of here?
Well, yeah, but then you figure it out. I mean, I used to love climbing trees.
She was 30 feet up. She just kept going. Well.
That's way up there.
Well,
dude, 30 for
I'll keep
3
going.
stories, right?
Can't go down. Might as well keep going up.
Yeah, it's a long way up there. Well, congratulations to the fire department for being this, the hero of the day.
Somebody got a free tree trim out of that.
I bet they did, and they better pay it forward to the Forsyth County Fire Department. Then you see them out at the Quick Trip, or you see them out at the racetrack, or the Starbucks, or the McDonald's. Man, you better buy them something just to say thank you, because they deserve it, man. They're out there busting their tail, climbing up trees and putting out fires. That's right.
My dog is stuck in the tree.
Yeah, but if your dog gets up there, that's impressive.
That's right. You don't ever have that happen because dogs just know better.
Yeah, dogs like, nah, I'm good.
Like, you ever heard anybody had to call the fire department to get their dog out of a tree?
Never one time.
No.
Never, ever. Dogs are smarter than that. You're exactly right. We don't deserve dogs. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is the website. But I like the fire department because they're very compassionate people, those. I mean, you have to have some compassion to be able to run into a building that's burning. You're safe outside. You're trading in your safety to go help be a liberator, to help someone else to safety. That's compassion that I like. There is compassion out there, but it isn't always good compassion.
Women 18 to 34 in New York voted for Mamdani, 80% of them. You had similar numbers in New Jersey. You had similar numbers in Virginia. We talk about young, white, liberal women, how they are the biggest danger to society because they don't view reality. It's like I joke around when I bring up, the movie As Good as It Gets. Melvin Udall, Jack Nicholson. How do you write like a woman? I write just like a man, except I take away reason and accountability.
That's right.
All right? Yeah. Like, I can think like a woman every day. I just have to think like me and remove reason and accountability. That's the joke, okay? Now, is that every woman? Oh, of course not, because people at different stages act differently. I certainly am a different person than I was at 21 years old, where, hey, where's the next beer and who are we going out with? It's you mature and you see the world differently. 18 to 34 just happens to be the breeding ground for this mental instability and this version of the world that does not exist. I want to play this piece of audio from you. This is from a focus group that Fox News had on. And when they were all talking about the most important things to them in this upcoming election and the one we just had yesterday, they're talking about economy. They're talking about safety. They're talking about border security. They're talking about getting rid of people that should not be here that are causing crime and causing problems. And yet, here's the woman in the crowd, white liberal lady, Democrat voter self-admittedly. This is what she said we should be paying attention to.
I think what's really important and standing out for me right now is if we can take ourselves like a high level, like not say immigration, not say economy, not say all the hot talking points, and just ask ourselves, how are we treating our neighbors? Like, how are we treating one another? And is it okay that on Saturday, 42 million of our neighbors no longer can feed themselves? Is it okay that our neighbors are getting taken off the streets by ICE? Is it okay that gender-affirming care is being taken from young people who really need it to survive? Is it okay that the Supreme Court has now justified racial profiling? That's not how I want to treat my neighbor.
All right, first off, hell yeah, I'm okay with all of this.
Here's the thing.
Let me start with the hell yeah.
Yeah, because I want to give people a hand when they need a hand, but I don't want to be the dude that is continually giving the hand, because the hand never stops handing out things. Because if you're handed something your entire life, you never work for it. And there's never been an instance that I know of that's been written about or told to me about where someone who's been on welfare their entire life will ever improve their situation. Because they've been handcuffed. They expect it, and they don't want to change from it. Please just keep it coming in. Doesn't have to be a life, doesn't have to be a good life, but I'm willing to live this way because you're willing to give it to me.
Let me just say this in terms of compassion for my neighbors. So last Friday, it was Halloween. I grilled hot dogs on the street to hand them out for free.
Yeah.
The next day, I showed up at my other neighbor's house, and it was jalapeno poppers, which were badass, by the way.
Let's go.
I got to bake some more of those. 3 pounds of wings and a bunch of airline bottles of Fireball. Okay, I'm awesome to live next to. Okay, like I'm just the best neighbor ever. Or at least top 3. Like I've got to be right in that ranking. All right, I am not looking to then say everybody gets this grace.
And every day.
Every day. And so what's wild is that she's talking about gender-affirming care for children. All right, Have we not gotten past this? The trend's over, baby girl. Like, you're talking about something that was so 2 months ago. All right? Like, this is a dead issue. In fact, the Democrats will be leaving this issue entirely, yet you're still talking about it. You're talking about we're grabbing people off the street. Yeah. Hell yeah. We're going to get 10 million more next year. Deal with it. This whole idea, it's madness that is camouflaged as compassion. That your version of society not only is not justified, it's not real, and yet you play in this imaginary playland where these things are going on, and you regulate it, and it makes you the better person. It don't. It doesn't.
But that's the thing, because you're not helping. What is the old the thing? It's if you teach a man to fish, he can feed himself every day. If you give him fish, feed him once. Teach him to fish, he can live and feed himself every day. It's as simple as that. If you hand somebody something every day, then they will become dependent on you.
But their idea of compassion is handing you gender affirming care.
Yeah, but that's that's beyond. That's like silly. Like like you said, that fad is dead. The thing that stands out to me most is the SNAP thing. Because we know it's rife with fraud. Dude, we know it is. And everybody can relate to somebody saying, hey, man, I need a hand up. Can you just help me with something? Everybody's experienced that, whether you're the person that needs the hand up or you give somebody the hand up. It's the people that literally stay on this program their entire life. How in the world are they supposed to improve themselves? They won't. There's no incentive to. And I don't know if there is the ability to, because if you've been on it for 3 decades, like we've seen videos of people that have celebrated the fact, I've been on this for 30 years. Do you even have the ability to pick yourself up anymore? That's how bad you've hurt them.
It's at that point, and it's in the term, it's retarded. It's been broken.
Yeah,
it does not work any longer. It's now the square peg in a world of round holes. That's the problem with these programs and this long-term usage of them, is that the person no longer has the skills, no longer has the ability, no longer has the competency or the confidence to compete in the workplace.
At all.
It's just what happens.
And they say that's compassion. They say that's the way you would help them. And I say, no, it's not. That's actually detrimental to them.
Tug, I'll tell you, and this is a discussion that I'm very cognizant that I have in my home on a regular basis. When you have teenage girls doing teenage girl stuff, I will tell my wife, I go, we have one of two choices here. I go, you can choose to, and I'll give you the scenario. My kid ended up having... she was having to work on a special project. The project ran late with her class, and so by the time she got to lunch, none of the people that she sits with were there anymore. And so now she's sitting there going, like, am I just got to eat by myself?
Mm-hmm.
And one of her first things was reaching out to mom, being like, hey, will you come pick me up? It's like, and I told her, I go, you can choose to go do that. You can choose to go pick her up. But just know you're handicapping her.
That's right. You've got to be able to eat lunch by yourself occasionally. It's going to happen in your life.
And I get it. Like, yeah, it's tough when you're a freshman. And you know what?
For sure.
And guess what? It turned out all fine.
But life is tough.
She made an adjustment. Yes, but there is an inclination of I've got to protect these people. Here's my compassion. It's like, no, at a certain point, you've handicapped them.
That's right.
From being able to be a factor in society.
That's exactly right, man. That's the compassion that I don't want. That's the compassion that I don't believe is good.
But also, it's serviceable. It's usable. When I handicap you, then you're going to be looking at me for the rest of your life saying, here's my vote.
Yeah, I'll give you this.
Just make sure you take care of me.
But think about what you could do. I forget the study that I read, and this has been weeks ago, and my memory's terrible, so please pardon me if I don't get it exactly right. But it was essentially this. If you have somebody that has been on, SNAP, that kind of program their entire life, they have this amount of money, whatever that amount of money is. But if you have somebody that's in a similar situation and you only have them on the program for a little while and then they're expected to go out and get jobs and work, their income more than doubles and it's in a short amount of time. So they already are doing better by having some sort of requirement to work, some sort of requirement to do something, which is exactly what Donald Trump is putting on the SNAP program. You got to, volunteer or work 20 hours a week. Those are, dependent. If you have small children, they're not required. But anybody that's got kids that are older than 14, you are. Because it's beneficial for them. It will actually benefit them in the long run. You handicapping them is not helping at all. And it's been proven over and over and over again. If you're willing to do something, your ability to earn more and get yourself out of a terrible situation greatly improves.
Well, we went through some of the numbers yesterday, and it was shocking when you look at the amount of SNAP beneficiaries because the argument's always, you're starving families, and that's what they show you. That's what the media shows you. Look,
right, of course.
Look at these high-calorie families. Is that not a funny term, by the way?
Yeah.
High-calorie families is the way that they're now putting it. But I'm like, hey, how's your kid 250 pounds already at like 12 years old? It's a high-calorie family.
Oh.
And so, but when you look at the numbers, you're looking at, and I believe what we had it was just 23% of the SNAP recipients had children in the home.
I was actually looking up that figure as you bring it up. Yes. It's such a small percentage anyway.
It's a tiny percentage. So here's here are the exact numbers. You have only 28% of SNAP households had any earned income in 2023. So you're sitting back and you're like, wait a minute, like
you've done nothing. I mean, zero.
You have
less than nothing.
You have a larger percentage. You have 62% that are reporting zero income. 28% are reporting a little bit of earned income. 62% of these people have no earned income.
And there has, because the program is so big, the fraud in there. I mean, I bet if you break it down percentage-wise, it would be the same kind of percentage as a USAID being fraudulent, because there's so much money there and there's so many people that they have in this pot that probably don't belong. The amount of fraud, I bet, on percentage-wise would match up with any other fraudulent program that the Democrats were running through the federal government, because it is so despicable and low down. They have no compassion. They have no love for these people. They want these people to be lifetime voters. They want these people to ensure their own power. That's what it's about. It's not about compassion whatsoever.
That woman is a nutball, and she will be, I'm telling you, she's going to be all up in her box of wine and rubbing all over cats.
I just had this great image of what that looks like. Just sitting there on the couch. Oh my gosh, what a bunch of crazies! Absolutely.
They all have like regular names, so it kind of normalizes them.
Yeah,
it's like Clarence, Felix.
Yeah.
I don't know. She might name them after like illegals moving forward.
Probably so, or her favorite communist. This is my cat Zoran.
This is Che.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. When we continue on Extra 106.3, 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Call Chuck and his team. They will take care of your HVAC needs, and you won't get sent through automation. They will answer the phone, one of the many benefits of working with Chuck and his team. Donald Trump took your football away. Next on the Morning Extra.
The Morning Extra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Echo Power Equipment. The leaves they've been dropping in the wood. Well, hey, maybe for you, it needs chopping. That means it's time to get your yard fall ready. Do it the smart way with Echo's battery-powered tools. They're quiet, they're powerful, and they're built to perform. In this case, no gas, no hassle, just grab and go. Blowers, trimmers, chainsaws, everything to help you work. Echo equipment gives you the freedom to take on the fall cleanup, and that you can do it with ease, saving you time. Find yours today over at Howard Brothers, where power meets performance, and you can have your purchase backed by a team that you can trust. That can help you. They know what they're doing. They can also explain the maintenance end of all this equipment so that you have it season after season. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Echo and with Howard Brothers.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. The initial rankings are out for the college football playoffs. Ohio State tops the rankings with Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama rounding out the top four. Georgia checks in at number 5. As for Georgia Tech, they did make the initial top 25. The Atlanta Hawks, they're now 4-4 on the season after a 127-112 win at home over the Orlando Magic. The Hawks are now off until Friday when they host the Toronto Raptors. And the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. The Atlanta Falcons have released kicker Parker Romo after his missed extra point last weekend. The team has reportedly added kicker Zane Gonzalez to the roster. That's now their third kicker this season. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
It's Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. In Atlanta, I'm going to be that guy and start talking about Christmas before the leaves are even done falling. Because I want to share some seriously special gift ideas with you, and you should start thinking about them now. This season, D. Geller & Son is all about the magic of custom, personalized jewelry gifts. Whether it's a custom birthstone necklace and earring set, or that one-of-a-kind dream-worthy ring, with your sentiment and our expertise, we can make it happen. Let's plan ahead and make this holiday season unforgettable at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
You and your buddy, you've been through a lot with each other, the ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Dio and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand. Look him in the eye and say, I appreciate you, little fella. And we're going to get you some help. We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit stopmyed.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
Need a break from all the political talk? Tune into Holy Crap It's Sports with Pete Davis every weekday at 5:20 on The Kimmer Show. It's your daily dose of what's hot in the sports world, from the field to the locker room, with Pete's unfiltered opinion and a side of laughs. It's smart, it's funny, it's sports with edge. Holy Crap It's Sports. Catch it at 5:15 only on The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3.
I'll admit I didn't see this until last night, but it was a fascinating read. You might not be able to watch Monday Night Football. Why? When companies get too big, they have the power to cut off your favorite channels, and that's what's happening here. And what has Trump done about it? He lets them get away with it. Tug and Los on the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3. Pocahontas Warren goes after your love of football trying to dunk on Trump. She thinks you're dumb enough to believe that Trump is the reason YouTube TV and ABC Disney can't come to an agreement and get those channels that are blacked out now if you're a YouTube subscriber.
Let me get this straight. So the company that has already had to pay Trump $9 million because of what George Stephanopoulos went ahead and said about him in a defamation lawsuit, they're the ones that said, hey, Trump told us to keep you from being able to watch football.
What are we supposed to do? We can't do anything. Our hands are tied. That's what Elizabeth Warren is selling.
Why do these people, and I get it, I know why, but why do they try so hard to pretend that they're regular people? Here's Chuck Schumer. Look at me. I'm grilling on the grill. I was like, dog, that meat is raw and you're throwing cheese on it.
What kind of crazy do you think we are?
All right. Nancy Pelosi was like, I'll get some ice cream out of my fridge. Okay. Those are, in my estimation, there's a $50,000 freezers, and you have ice cream that's like $15 a carton.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like every single one of these people, they try and give you the whole regular Joe thing, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And so this is what Pocahontas comes up with. I'm going to talk about YouTube TV not being able to show you your football.
You and your old foosball. You ain't going to be able to watch your foosball. You got a president like Donald Trump. This is so nuts. And it's ironic that she was part of that big No Kings, that day. What was it, a couple Saturdays ago, 3 Saturdays ago, whatever it was, No Kings Day, where they went out and protested. And look, J.B. Pritzker said 17 million people. I don't know how many were out there.
It might have been 200,000 across the nation.
Yeah, all right.
And what it comes out to is about 900 people per place, which is nothing.
And she just came off of No Kings protests, acting like he's a president or acting like he's a king or has the power of a king and not a president. It's unbelievable. If you want them, pick a different provider. You don't have a contract. Switch over to a different provider. YouTube TV, you can go to DirecTV Stream, or you can go to Xfinity, whatever their streaming is, or you can pick cable, or whatever. There's 1,000 ways to get those channels, and you're not locked into a contract, which is great. That's perfect.
I want to get rid of Hulu, but Donald Trump told me I couldn't.
Oh, see? Now I understand now.
So that's where I'm trapped.
He's put his foot down. He's laying down the king's law.
I have a Donald Trump contract.
You're stuck. You're not gonna get to watch your foosball. When I read that, I was just so floored by how ignorant she thinks you are. That Pocahontas Warren, she would tell you that she's Native American. That's the first thing she thought you were dumb enough to believe. And then secondly, that she thinks you're dumb enough to believe that you're stuck. You can't watch college football. You can't watch Monday Night Football, which was that's the one she was addressing because her tweet was Monday.
I mean, it does work on certain people.
Aunt Peg, white ladies. Who else is buying that, Lowe's?
Aunt Peg is going, I heard that Donald Trump is not letting people watch Monday Night Football because they can't get the channels.
I bet she's telling her husband that exact thing. Yeah,
I mean, you try and attack anger. You try and attach that to your political opponent. If there's things that people are upset about, and people are upset about YouTube not having their deal done with Disney, and so that keeps them from having to be able to comfortably watch college football on Saturday or pro football on Sunday in the way that they do, you then attach it to your political opponent.
I just can't imagine being dumb enough to fall for that. I mean, that is next level stupidity.
I mean, if I was
to fall for that,
if I was to say that the reason why the McRib is no longer at McDonald's and it's because of Tug Cowart,
yeah,
it's like suddenly it's like, wow, I didn't know about that.
Did you hear?
I mean, if I was to say that the reason why the HOA requires you to build a deck a certain way and it costs this much, I'd be like, well, it was Tug Cowart.
He's the reason.
It's
his fault.
I mean, that's all she's playing. I mean, this is an old political game, and yet because of the nature of what it is, like as you said, just to switch, you can switch tomorrow. You can cancel one of these subscriptions and put another one on an hour later. There's no contract.
That's exactly right.
It's not hard, but she doesn't know that.
Well, right. She has no idea. And probably the people that would listen to her are of a certain age and might not know it either. Like if I were to call Mama, and Mama ain't nothing like Pocahontas by any means.
Mama?
Yeah, Mama, do you believe that you could change your cable provider like lickety split in an instant? She might say, Well, no, usually you have to have it for a year or something. You know what I mean? She would be in that mindset because for a long time it was that way. And when she was paying for cable, which she doesn't anymore, she worked that way. She understood that to be the way it worked.
That's the way it used to be.
That's the way it used to be.
2-year contracts, and here's what you do.
All that.
Here's the rate you get.
I would have to walk Mama through the fact that, no, Mama, you can change immediately. You can change right this second and then cancel the one you just changed to and change right back to the other one. You could do that if you wanted to. Now, I'm encouraging that, but to understand that that's the way it works, maybe people that, are of Pocahontas's age might be fooled by that. But you know what? Maybe you could just go outside and throw a football with your kids. You know what? And keep up with it right there on your phone. You know what? The scores are going to be rolling in. The notifications, all you have to do is turn on notifications. You'll know every score as it happens and the time that it happened.
I don't want you to be too extreme, Tug. I'm not really interested in throwing the football around with my kids. I want to watch my football.
That's right. I got to have my foosball.
This is how I get away from the kids stuff for a while.
That's exactly. This is my escape. Yeah. Foosball is the devil.
Tug speaking with two tongues. I don't know which one to trust here.
It's forked. I know he's got that forked tongue. That's what's happening. But that's where we are in America. That Elizabeth Warren thinks that you're dumb enough to believe that. That's where we are.
What a weird way to blame. What a strange tactic to go at.
And that we also have a communist running the biggest city in the world. That's another thing that's strange today. There's all kinds of things.
I mean, in a world
emotional and unstable
that tends to, when it comes to anything on the Republican side. Like, I think about a guy like George Santos, where dude's in federal prison, he'll never hold office again, and on the Republican Party, they're like, hey, he's a good dude, but his name is now Mud, and so he's out of here. That woman in Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, took advantage of the system for her entire life and claimed to be Native American, which I thought cultural appropriation was supposed to be like one of the worst things you could possibly do.
Did you see? No, I think it was Nancy Mace that got blasted for wearing the sombrero for Halloween.
I mean, if it's just short of blackface, and yet because she's a Democrat, it's like, well, her grandmother did have high cheekbones.
Yes, that's right.
Well,
that's good enough for me.
I can see where she made the mistake.
That's good enough for me.
I know that she used it everywhere along the lines for advancement.
Yeah. Now, do you reckon she has the same issue with like healthcare companies? The fact that they couldn't even get their own subsidies passed when they ran the entirety of the government. Do you think she feels the same way about that as she does YouTube TV? Is she just as fired up?
I'm willing to say that the answer is probably no.
Absolutely not. The answer is no way, not even a chance. But she thought, you know what? Or you know what? I bet she didn't even come up. Now that I think about it. Some 23-year-old kid.
One of her staffers.
Yes.
Let me tell you what's going on out there. And if you say this, people will be excited. They'll be like, she knows what's going on.
Because you know how popular football is. We're going to put this out there. And maybe it goes nowhere. But maybe, just maybe, somebody picks it up and retweets it and starts talking about it. And then we gain ground. This is the way we win. We tell them that Donald Trump has taken away their football. Anyway. Morning Xtra on Extra 106.3 Tug and Los until 10. When we continue, taxation is not theft. Capitalism is. That's the new mantra on the left. Next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, they've gone and done it now. New York has elected a communist to be their mayor. If it could be any worse, they've elected a Muslim communist. If he gets his way, and that's a big if, it'll be a disaster for New York City. Confiscatory taxes on high-income New Yorkers, a rent freeze on all rent-controlled properties in New York City. But I use the word if because Mondami can only institute a small portion of his communist agenda without the approval of the New York legislature in Albany. Or is it Albany? Oh, no, wait, that's Georgia. But then again, America's worst governor, Kathy Hochul, or however you pronounce it, endorsed this cretin. And how far will she have to go to keep him on her side so she can be reelected governor next year? And what can you say about the people who would vote for this menace? Free stuff, free stuff, free stuff. They want the buses to be free, which means that they will become traveling homeless shelters. They want their rents to be frozen, and God forbid, they want those government-operated neighborhood grocery stores. Just like government schools, you will be assigned to one of these grocery stores on the basis of your address. Wait until you see what a disaster they turn into. But again, still, I am happy this guy won. Somewhere along the line, before this fascination with communism and socialism went too far, the voters need to learn a lesson. They're about to learn that lesson in New York City. In a sick way, this ought to be fun to watch. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
This is House Call for Health. Your gut is a powerful thing. Maybe that's why we're told to trust it. But doctors say you should also take care of your gut health, citing critical actions the bacteria inside can play in helping your body properly function. And now, more people are getting the chance to learn about their guts from at-home microbiome tests. All of these microorganisms play critical roles in digesting food, absorbing nutrients, and more. And an unbalanced gut microbiome can negatively impact a person's health. Many of these at-home tests require mailing in a stool sample to a lab. Companies then analyze the data and show how a person's gut bacteria levels stack up. But besides lacking federal regulation, some doctors say these types of tests can have limits and aren't intended for clinical use, citing how unique everyone's gut microbiome is and how different tests can use different factors when comparing results. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
The Fox News Alert. I'm Kathleen Maloney. President Trump reacting to election results where Democrats won big.
If you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans. And that was a big factor. And they say that I wasn't on the ballot was the biggest factor.
Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani going after the president while claiming victory as the next mayor of New York City. Fox's Peter Ducey has more.
Mamdani, just minutes after he won, is trying to send a message directly to the president.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
President Trump does not see these off-year elections as a referendum on his administration.
The government shutdown now in its 36th day. President Trump hosting Senate Republicans for breakfast this morning to talk about it. Voters in Virginia returned power to the Democrats. Fox's Alexandria Hoff with the details.
Abigail Spanberger was really seen as a moderate given the electorate of Virginia. She's a former congresswoman, also previously worked at the CIA as an operations officer. And she beat out Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, the Republican in this race, by a 15-point margin, with Fox News polling showing that the economy dominated in terms of voter priorities. Now, Spanberger celebrated here in Richmond last night. In her closing message last night, Earl Sears told supporters that the American dream is still very much alive, that she is the embodiment of that, and that she's going to work with the incoming administration any way she can in order to make sure that Virginia is successful.
In New Jersey's gubernatorial race, Democrat Mikey Sherrill defeated Republican Jack Ciattarelli. California voters approved a set of temporarily redrawn congressional district maps designed to flip 5 Republican House seats into Democratic ones. America's listening to Fox.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Extra 106.3 and Fox are red. CNN and CBS are blue. If you want conservative news and talk, we have just the app for you. Search for the Extra app wherever you download apps.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. I just sent Front Office Los a text. I sent Jeray a text. I had a conversation in the hall that I did not expect to have.
It was a nude, and I'm a little shaken by it.
I thought you'd be happy. I thought that's what you wanted.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I'm pretending to be shaken.
That's right. I thought for sure you wanted a nude this morning. I mean, how else to start at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday?
It's amazing how you take that picture as the copper tone baby.
I know, right? I mean, I thought looking over the shoulder, I thought you would love that, and I thought Jeray would be into it, and then
it's all Jeray needed at 9:03.
That's right. Yeah. He's like, which I understand. I get.
I'm just impressed that you were able to get the diaper on and back off during the break.
Well,
that's right. I know. So impressive.
You know how long I've been practicing for this moment? I've been waiting for this moment as long as New York's been waiting for a socialist. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for the time to come, and it's finally here. No, aside from that text that I didn't think you would bring up, now that you have, we discussed it. We'll talk about it more later.
It's out in the open.
Yeah, it's very, very... I'm deeply embarrassed that y'all would bring it up the way you did and just scoff at it, because that I have feelings too, y'all.
I'm just not a piece of meat, damn it.
Exactly. I thought I was going to show you my hindquarters.
How you all treat me.
I thought I was going to show you my hindquarters and make everything better after Mamdani wins in New York City. But no, the other text, not that one, the other text that I sent y'all was a conversation that I had in the hallway that I did not expect to have. And it was from a Democrat who said, my parents live in New York City and are very nervous about Mamdani. They did not vote for him. I was taken back because this person clearly knows that our politics are very different, and we've discussed it openly that our politics are very different, and we don't dislike each other because of that. You know, we still have a good working relationship. We just see things differently politically. And when a Democrat walks up to you first thing in the morning, as soon as they got here, and said, my folks are real nervous about this, and I'm nervous for them. That's how damning this is. That's how life-changing that they feel like in that city, that they feel like it is going to be.
Well, let's just kind of paint the picture here. There was a total of 47% of the people that did not vote for Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
Between the 8-9% that voted with the Republican and the nearly 40% that voted with Andrew Cuomo. So, and I think the part about that, Tug, is this isn't a matter of, and it highlights the whole Civil War aspect. This isn't a matter of you versus me, Republican versus Democrat. This is within the Democrats. This is within their side, where nearly half of them were like, we don't want the communists. Nearly half of them decided, I don't want to vote with this guy. This is not who I think represents me well. Yet, 51% of the total population decided, I'm going to vote with the communist.
Problem is, for those people that didn't, is that their party is that.
Yeah.
That's
what it's become.
Their party. You talked about the Civil War that's in the Democrat Party yesterday. That I think the war is over, actually, now. I mean, yesterday, Mamdani winning, that was the plant the stake in the ground, plant the flag in the ground. The Democrat Party is now the party of socialism and communism. That's what it is. And I think those people that did not vote for Mamdani, and they see it are probably petrified. They're scared to death of what that means for the city that they live in.
And it's not just the 20s and 30-year-olds. As we joked around about it earlier, and I think it's well put, downwardly mobile. These are the people that carry college debt, and if you basically give them the ice cream campaign, I'm going to give you all you want, sodas in the water fountains and ice cream every day, they're going to vote for you. The problem is, when it comes to New York City, once people got to our age, once people are in their 40s, they were hardcore voting for Mamdani. That was the surprising part when you looked at the exit polling.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be people that are supposed to know better, and yet it's just that liberal echo chamber of let's go further left, because that's got to be the answer, because what has been happening as of now has not solved the problems I have in my life. So let's go with somebody who's promising to do so.
404-741-1230. Bill is wanting to weigh in on this. Bill, what's on your mind, dude?
Well, my question is to the people on the news media this morning. They're all running around screaming, oh, my God, we've elected a foreign-born socialist Muslim. My question is, do you not remember Barack Obama?
Yeah, right. No doubt. Yeah.
This isn't new.
Yes, that's right. This has been brewing since.
We've already. I mean, at least they pretended he wasn't a Manchurian candidate at the time. This is just out in the open.
Yeah, they're very, very open about it. I mean,
I approve of Bill's comedy.
Yes, absolutely right, dude. Bill hitting the home run of the day, and I think most people feel that way. I mean, go back.
I think it's just. But to speak to what Bill's saying,
yeah,
part of the allure of Barack Obama was we found out. But they spent the entire campaign trying to hide what he actually thought. That was what the Joe the Plumber was such a magical moment.
Right.
That's the first time the man ever said, spread the wealth around. Mamdani was out in the open the whole time.
Yeah. He was like, this is who I am. Embrace me. I'm going to give you everything free. This is going to be the greatest thing of all time. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be better than fantastic. Until the actual policy starts hitting. And look, he's going to be handcuffed in a lot of that stuff. He is. Kathy Hochul, the governor who endorsed him, which is insane, said, I know he said all these things, but we're not going to raise the taxes on the wealthiest. We're not going to do that because we know that is going to make them leave. Mamdani says, on the other hand, no, we need to raise these taxes because their life will improve when I do. When I raise these taxes, those people that pay, what was the percentage of people that you had earlier that pay all the?
You have 1% of New York's population pays a little bit more than 50% of the total taxes,
and that man
that's the kind of wealth that there is there.
That man wants them to believe by us raising your taxes, things are going to get better for you because it's going to pay for all these free things for all the other people that live here in town. It's like you use the example of handing out hot dogs at Halloween at your house. Dude, that was awesome. You won Halloween. But it's not like you're going to do that every night. You're not going to have your Traeger grill out there from Howard Brothers every night cooking up hot dogs.
Special occasions.
Yeah, cooking up hot dogs for everybody. But that's what Mamdani wants. That's what socialists want. That's what Democrats want because that's who they are now. That's what they want. They expect ULOs to be out there every night. And if you won't do it, they'll take it out of your paycheck so you don't have any other choice. That's where they are. Think about that.
That's where I'm very curious, Tug, to see how many people that are mobile, that are able to, because of their assets, if they have the ability, how many of them actually leave New York City? And I wonder if we will have the news media that will actually cover the amount of whether it's companies or whether it's the amount of the people. Because if you lose a large percent of the tax base. And remember, if only 1% covers 51% of the bills, what happens when, let's say, 10% of the 1% leave? Well, now you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big number.
Again, it's not a lot of people, but you're in trouble.
But it's a lot of money. There's no doubt about it. What is the New York Post? This was from Monday morning. And it said hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are prepared to bolt New York if Mamdani is elected. He was. They predicted around 765,000 people of the 8.4 million in New York City are prepared to leave. 9% would definitely leave. That is from the polling that they did in New York City. If that sticks, if that rings true, that's a mass exodus like New York has never seen, and it'll be interesting to see how they think they're going to pay for the stuff that they already do, because they're already a government-heavy city to begin with. They have 300,000. I think the number I heard last night was 300,000 New York City employees. Can you imagine what will happen to the people that work there? Because those checks, they can't keep coming out if all the people with the money that support this and by force support it because their taxes are taken from them, if they go, how can it stand up? It can't stand up. It can't last. It can't work.
No, it's been 4 years since I was in Florida and I met a New York City police officer, and she was getting out of there. And she had made but this is before even Eric Adams came into office. She's like, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazier. She's like, every single time that we have a new mayor, she's like, it's harder to be a police officer here. And her wife, by the way, was a police detective with the New York City Police Department. And so they were both getting out. They were moving to Florida. They were looking for property in Florida. To think that, okay, that's one end. Then you have people like the bold lib. That woman was like, I'm all about New York. I'm single in New York. Here's what I'm doing here in New York. And that woman was like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I got to move to Florida. And sure enough, moved to Florida. That I think becomes a very realistic option for those people that have a little bit of mobility. And whether you're a police officer or you're a social media influencer, it's still the same. They're all getting out of there.
Oh, man. I would. There's no way I would stay. No way. And my wife, who's from New York, upstate, around the capital area, she was just, beside herself. She could not believe. She was like, I cannot believe what New York City has done. I cannot believe that those people think that a socialist is going to be the answer to whatever problems they have. And yet they did. They did. And I guess for just like the other coworker that I texted y'all about earlier, and my wife and I bet there's others that are just in disbelief because the number you had, 47% of us did not vote for it, and yet are going to suffer the repercussions of it.
And by the way, and this was done actually last week, and it was just no way to be able to get this into the show. Florida, under Ron DeSantis, has already offered New York City police officers
a
$5,000 bonus as a recruitment bonus. I mean, he's basically saying, hey, you want a mayor that doesn't have your back? Why don't you come to Florida? I mean, I think you're going to see a whole lot of this from the surrounding red areas trying to pilfer the high income and the high accomplishment people. And that's just not like the Wall Street people. We're talking about the good city workers, good police officers, good linemen, anybody who's got a level of professionalism. I think you're going to start seeing the other states trying to pilfer them from NYC.
Yeah, I just worry. I love the way that sounds. I just worry about people that will go to those places and vote the exact same way. And I know that's a concern of many people.
Tug, you had 47% that didn't want this.
No, I know.
There are like the 51%. They're going to be happy. I mean, there is such a thing as, at one point you did have people thinking like, hey, this East German thing ain't bad.
Right.
And then they put up walls to keep you in.
That's right. Absolutely. You brought that up earlier. Yeah. They're going to build walls around New York. But you know what is crazy, though, is they'll try to find a way to tax those people that have gone. California did the same thing. Right? They're trying to figure out how do we tax people.
It was a legacy tax. It's awful.
How do we impose this? Like, I don't know how that would work legally. I don't know how you could force that. It seems insane, but they certainly will try. They will try their dangdest to make that work. Like, we'll get you. We're going to get you even though you've left the state.
I forgot. I did see a meme last night, and I'm just now pulling it back up. Even the Statue of Liberty is leaving NYC and heading back to France.
That's right.
And it's got the Statue of Liberty in the water walking back.
We're freaking trying to get out of there. Oh, my heavens, dude. We laugh about it. You have to laugh about it because otherwise you'll just be so dismayed by it all. And I understand. Look, I get it. I understand why you feel that way. And we'll continue to feel that way. And look, we'll talk about it. The other elections, Virginia didn't surprise me. New Jersey didn't surprise me at all. We had talked about that. That I mean, they're blue states. They just, and I think even Donald Trump, either last night or this morning, probably last night, had said, yeah, well, I don't know that how anybody can call this a real landslide. There were Democrat areas, and Democrats won. Huge surprise.
Yeah, it's just what it was. I think that the only real surprise, and we talked about it to open up the show in the 6 o'clock hour, we've now established that you can talk about murdering your political opponent's children, and even that won't turn Democrats off from voting for you.
Not when 55% of them say, if we need to take out Donald Trump, it is justified. 55 double nickels of Democrats say it's okay.
That's how the polling was you were going to have the Democrat lose the attorney general role in Virginia. And it turned out that didn't happen. What was it? People were more willing to tell pollsters that they were disgusted by it, but when they were alone in a booth, they pulled the lever for him anyway.
Shoo, dirty low down.
Because all they saw was there's a D next to this name, and this guy, so he wants to murder some kids and murder a family. But you know what? He was just playing around.
Dude, they're not playing around. If they've not proven to you by now that they're not playing around, I don't know what it takes to prove to you they're not playing around. Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump. I mean, those are just two right off the top of my head. Killed one in cold blood in front of the nation, in front of the world. The other that they missed by a thumbnail of physically blowing a man's head off in Butler, Pennsylvania. Those are just two examples. There's so many more. Let's talk about shooting up ice facilities, and there's just 1,000 examples.
I mean, you have Steve Scalise, who was sitting there berating the Democrats yesterday. Steve Scalise still has the remnants of his bullet wound that he took from a person who showed up to shoot and kill as many Republican House members as possible. You got Brett Kavanaugh, who still has to deal with the idea that not only was the person who was planning to assassinate him and his family still in prison, now they claim to be a woman. and after they drove from California to show up to his house to kill him.
Gosh, man. If you don't believe them, I can't help you. You must listen to their words and believe what they say. They're doing it in front of your face.
We're going to play golf on Friday, and everybody has their bag. And what's in your bag? What are you carrying? The deal about Democrats today is that political assassination has now been added to their bag.
Yeah, it has.
And they feel it's justified and warranted.
55% on the record, 55% said if we need to kill them, then that's what we're going to do. That's just what we're going to do. Oh, my heavens. I do worry about New York City just being, that's the first block, the first domino to fall. It's the biggest, but it had the most possibility of happening. My fear is that the cancer spreads. 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 8779-SOUTHERN, southernexteriors.co. When you go to that website, top left corner, they're doing a Christmas giveaway, remodeling a full James Hardy siding for your home or a friend's home, a family member's home, someone in need this Christmas holiday season. Up at the top left, Christmas giveaway is where you sign up. Got to do it by December 1st. southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co. Stephen A. Smith tells the uncomfortable truth about Mayor Pete next on Extra.
Get connected to Extra 106.3 on all your favorite apps. Then download ours and stream the station across Georgia. We're live online at extra1063.com. Stream live video from the studios on YouTube. And of course, Kimmer, Bortz, and your favorite Extra shows in crystal clear digital on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small, honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Every time there's a government shutdown, I turn to an unconventional barometer to understand the depth of the impasse. I always observe the first few minutes of the Senate session, not to hear Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, but to listen to someone who has a direct line to someone who outranks everyone in the Senate. I listen to the Senate's opening prayer from Senate Chaplain Barry Black. Black is a parliamentary pastor offering ecumenical intercessions in search of a shutdown solution. Black unloaded on his Senate flock a few weeks ago. Quote, Lord, remind our lawmakers that no gold medals are given for breaking shutdown records, prayed Black. Black's sizzling sermons from the Senate pulpit are canon during times of crisis. He delivered similar prayers during the lengthy government shutdowns of 2013 and 2018-2019. Only the Almighty knows how the government shutdown will end. But until then, operations of the federal government are limping along on a wing and a prayer. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. A man suspected of being the pillowcase rapist in a string of South Florida rapes back in the 80s was convicted Monday in another one of the attacks. Robert Kohler, now 66, was found guilty on the 4 charges he faced, including sexual battery, kidnapping, and burglary. Back in 1984, a woman said someone broke into her Miami-Dade County home and raped her. The case went unsolved for more than 35 years until 2020 DNA match linked Kohler to the crime. State attorneys say Kohler's DNA has been linked to at least 25 sexual assaults in Miami-Dade alone that happened between 1981 and 1986. Authorities say the pillowcase rapist terrified his victims by breaking into their homes at night using a pillowcase or another fabric to cover his face or the faces of his victims before assaulting them, tying them up, and stealing from their homes. Kohler is already serving 17 years, sentenced in 2023 in another rape case from the 80s. His sentencing in this case is scheduled for November 24th. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Take a pause.
Imagine you've lost your dog or cat and someone calls you saying they're from your local animal shelter claiming they found your pet. But your animal needs surgery and you have to pay for that before you get Fido or Fluffy back. It's most likely a scam.
We're seeing that it's popping up in a couple of instances where this is happening. And it's like, that is not us, folks. That is absolutely not us.
That's Donna Casamento of Indy Humane in Indianapolis, who says there are no circumstances where they would demand money before treating an animal.
That's not appropriate for people to be taking advantage of our citizens in that way. It's just not right.
The scam's been reported in several states. If it happens to you, insist the caller send you a photo of your animal and for the name of the vet treating your animal. And when they don't, call the shelter the crook claimed to be from and let them know about the scam. Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. Election results are in. Democrats won in the statewide race for 2 seats on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Alicia Johnson and Peter Hubbard replaced 2 Republicans who still hold 3 of the 5 seats on the commission. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens won his re-election campaign, as well as all the incumbents on the Atlanta City Council. Mayor of Marietta, Steve Tumlin, was also re-elected. Cobb County leaders are considering a new amendment that would make it easier for police to manage homeless camps on private property. If approved, it would be similar to an ordinance already in place in the city of Marietta. Currently, the police cannot intervene without the property owner's presence. The new amendment would require individuals to have written permission to camp from the property owner. And Forsyth County firefighters rescued a 10-year-old girl who was stuck in a tree. Rescue workers say she was 30 feet off the ground. 4 units responded to the call, removing tree limbs and raising ladders to get to the girl. She was back on the ground safe with no injuries in 45 minutes. Today's weather, sunny and warm with highs in the mid-70s. It looks like we'll have our first freeze of the season early next week. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. They're giving away a free remodel. And you know, I say free. They're going to cover the cost. Somebody pays for everything, as you know. But it is a remodel that will be free to you or a family member or to a friend in need if you want to register them for that. James Hardy Siding, the best in the business there at Southern Exteriors. They'll come out and do this job for you. Get registered by December 1st at southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co. Tug and Los. COs! Tug and Los until 10 here on Extra 106.3.
Tug, may I give you a trend?
Oh, yes, please.
So if you go on to X today, you're going to see a number of different states. Right now, the one that's trending is North Carolina. it'll say North Carolina is full. You will find Florida is full, Georgia is full, South Carolina is full.
We don't got room for y'all.
One of them says North Carolina is full, and by the way, there's a copperhead under every leaf. Stay away.
That's right. You don't want to mess with them; they'll come after you.
There's North Carolina counties welcoming neighbors. The blue say not full, red is full. Every single county in North Carolina says full.
We are full.
There's a lot of this going on right now as people are looking to get out of New York and Virginia.
Here's the scary thing, though, and I think I brought this up a few months ago, that that North Carolina, people that are moving into North Carolina, the licenses that they're trading in, more New Yorkers moving to North Carolina than any other state that even touches North Carolina. Any border state that touches North Carolina, there's fewer people moving from those states and more moving from New York already. That's before this happened. So can you imagine the change that will happen in those states, man? That makes me nervous. That makes me really nervous about.
I'm in a place where when it comes right down to the numbers. North Carolina is traditionally Republican, although typically you will have, from time to time, you'll have Democrat congressman and a Democrat governor because typically the state is like 52-48. It's always what it is, and as of now, that's been kind of the trend line. Now, would it be encouraging to see more people that realize how bad this is move into the state and maybe turn it into 53, 55? 45?
Yeah,
that's
really
happens. The goal. That's really the hope.
Yeah, if that happens, that's a big if, because I've just seen it too many places where people come and vote the same way that they did when they left.
And I think I give credit to people in this regard. There are people that do get caught up in the fervor of the moment, and then they're the first people to tell you about how damning it is to have let the communists take charge.
Now I get that.
There are times when it's like, hey, that sounded like a great idea, and then I voted for it, and then that was terrible. That does happen, where people recognize just how bad of a mistake that they made when they went down a road with some of these people that ultimately, globalism, socialism, communism, it all leads you to the same place. Less power for people, less money for people.
So I had a conversation with a person that moved. They live in Cumming nowadays. They had moved from New York down here, and they talked about how we had more resources up in New York. And I was like, right, you probably did. But that was paid for through your tax dollars. And they're like, well, why don't we have them here? Because your taxes are lower. You're not paying for everything. Your tax dollars are not being garnered from everyone. And this was a conversation that was so enlightening for me. They were like, yeah, but I really liked having this resource or that resource. And when I say resource, that's always a government benefit, right, or the government's taking. And New York is, as a state, is full of that kind of stuff. So that's the type of thought process that I worry about, because they also celebrated in the fact that their property value was cheaper, that some of the things that they didn't have to worry about that they did up there, but they still wanted those resources. And I'm like, no, what don't you get?
I would try and tell them one thing, and I thought my friend, redheaded libertarian, had a really good point about this, and this had to do with SNAP benefits, but in general, it all applies. If you're so in love with the government benefits, it's like, oh, I've got all these benefits, and yeah, I know that it's cheaper for me to live here, and I don't pay as much in taxes, but I really appreciated those. What I would tell you is that if you're depending on the government to feed you, they can also starve you.
No, sure. Yes, absolutely they can. If you're dependent on them for anything, they control you.
And so if you're all about the government benefit, and regardless, that could be a transportation system. It doesn't have to be, obviously, food on a card.
You're exactly right, dude. And that was one of the things that got brought up. Well, we had such good public transportation. Okay, go back.
Okay. Now, and that's where your taxes were going. And instead, we around here have our own personal vehicles. And that's what we value. I value the freedom of that. Mm-hmm. If I was a regular public transit taker, well then, all right, maybe I might dig it, but I'd also have to deal with the fact that when I missed my flight because I'm stranded, that was the government that did that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's exactly right. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Tug and Los until 10. Stephen A. Smith, Los, gave some uncomfortable truths for a lot of people.
Well, I would say this. He stopped short where we never do.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
for instance, if I was to say, Tug, why was Josh Shapiro not selected to be the vice president, even though he was in a swing state of Pennsylvania and he's a popular governor in the state?
The Democrat Party who selected Tim Walz saw him as too Jewish.
Yes. They looked at him as this could be detrimental to Michigan, that we have such a large Muslim population. What if we were to anger them? All right, let's go a different direction so we don't split up our vote. Now, why, and according to Kamala Harris, why was Pete Buttigieg not considered or selected as the vice president?
Kamala said it was because he was too gay.
In fact, he was so gay that they didn't have enough time.
Right. Yeah, to introduce, to do a gentle, like a soft opening.
To get you used to how gay he is.
That's right. He put on that chest thing.
Yes. I was like, the fact that he is gay, all right, if you got some time, you get used to it, whatever. Okay. Do you know what I did when I found out Scott Bessent was gay? I went, oh, okay.
He's a really smart dude. I'm glad we have him in that position because I think he's going to benefit us all greatly.
And that's just the way it was. It was pretty simple. It was like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah, he's pretty good.
And you know what he never spends time on? His sexuality. Never. Does he ever talk? If we had not told you in this moment, would you have known? Because I
would you have known?
Because he never talks about it.
If there's one person that evades my superpower, which is I can always tell when people are gay or crazy, nothing happens. Like I look at Scott Bessent and it doesn't go off. I'm like, man, it's like
I have incredible respect for him because I think he's a genius. That's
really
what
good
I
at what
think
he
about
does.
him.
So now let's move on to when it comes to Pete Buttigieg and the black community, because we've told you, we've said it many times, that the reason why when he polls, he doesn't do well. It's because the black community has a very big issue in terms of having a gay leader. It's why you had so much of a smokescreen that went on with Barack Obama. It's why the community has largely turned on him, because they're like, he gay, he married to a man. All right, allegedly. But that's we've watched the videos where what was one of the guys saying? Mr. Obama and Mr. Obama?
Mr. and Mr. Obama.
Okay, it is part of the zeitgeist in the community, and they don't vote for it. They have an issue with it. I want you to take a listen to Stephen A. Smith, who clearly won't say the same things that we do.
Democratic primary voters, 16% would support Buttigieg. That's the highest of any candidate. Pete Buttigieg.
I don't believe it. I think that's just a poll number. I can't see that happening.
Well, okay, but wait. 16%. Black voters, zero. Zero. You don't usually see zero anywhere. Zero's low.
For who? What is this?
For Buttigieg. Okay, explain that. I mean, why do black voters have this? I mean, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's under-indexing a little bit with the black voters, yeah.
A little? What is that all about?
He doesn't move us. I respect the man. I've interviewed him before. Very nice man, highly intelligent. But you got to be able to move us, bro. He doesn't move us. You can speculate as to why that is. I'm not going there. He doesn't move us.
You can speculate as to why I'm not going there. This is why.
Genius, dude. The way he put it is genius. It's so funny. He's got some comedic timing too.
No. Stephen A. Smith is like I said, sharp, nice guy. For anybody who didn't hear it in the past, when he's ever come up to our studios to do a show, total gentleman. Mm-hmm. Totally nice guy. Yeah. And that's not everybody all the time. But he's first class. I just find it to be awesome that he's basically like the whole audience knows, like, why is he zero? It's because he's gay. But he won't say it. He's like, I'm not going to speculate. I'm just letting you know he doesn't move us.
He doesn't move us. That's code.
But this is why. More so, I think me, because I think Tug, you're pretty measured with like how you go about your business. This is why I can never run for public office.
Right, because you're too dadgum honest.
Because I've spent so much time being like, why won't they vote for Pete Buttigieg? I'm like, he gay. He just too gay.
That's the reason. I mean, you can pretend it's not. Stephen A. wouldn't say it, but that's what he was alluding to.
But
everybody, like you said, everybody in the audience knew exactly what he was saying, and Bill Maher knew what he was saying.
Right.
He just wanted to see if Stephen A. would come out and actually say it outright.
I mean, why wouldn't they pick Josh Shapiro? He's Jewish.
Yeah.
In fact, and you didn't make the joke, he's too Jewish. Well, what do you mean too Jewish? What does it matter? You know? And I don't even say that Pete Buttigieg is a homosexual. I just go, he gay. He too gay.
That's right.
Okay? So
that's the reason.
There's no way I could ever run for office because of these things that I point out that are universal truths, where Stephen A. Smith is still like, well, I might be able to run for office. If he doesn't say anything, but he's telling you what the answer is.
Yeah.
Why does Pete Buttigieg have 0% in the black community? Huh.
Yeah. I think you should run for office, Los, if you get a chance.
Why does Barack Obama have such an issue with the black community now?
Yeah, well, because of all the skeletons in that closet, the ones that are being called Mr. and Mr. Obama. That's the exact reason. You don't have to like it, but it is the reason. You don't have to agree with it. That doesn't change the fact that it is the reason. That's the thing. People that get so offended by the truth, that's why people try to avoid this, especially in politics. We try to avoid the truth. Don't tell the truth. Beat around the bush. That's why Stephen A. Smith, if he ever runs for office, may do a pretty good job because he's able to beat around the bush.
There are things that you can say and that you're not allowed to say in politics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the areas that you and I don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to tell you what I think.
And I'm not running for office, so I guess.
And I'm not running for office, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I don't want to be in a position where I have to. And you're right, man. I'm measured. Like I don't have any desire to offend people just for the fact of doing it, but I have no desire not to be honest. I think those are two things that the way I live my life. I don't want to offend anybody, but if I do, I'm sorry. If the truth hurts and I tell you the truth, I can't apologize for that. You may not like it, you may not like me, but I'm going to be honest. I can't because the good book tells me I'm supposed to.
I'm going to just tell you that from now on, when Tug has a moment, I'm just going to say, "Well, that didn't move him."
Yeah, that's right. I've not been moved today. You know,
he just wasn't moved.
Yeah, I wasn't moved.
Why don't you like that guy?
He just
doesn't move me.
He just wasn't moved today with that fella right there. That Mom Donnie doesn't move, Tug. It doesn't move Lowe's. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't move anybody on this show or the station for that matter. This is the Morning Xtra, Xtra 106.3. When we continue, a mistake Gretchen Whitmer made. She made a mistake, and we're going to tell you all about it next on Xtra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, November 5th. The initial rankings are out for the college football playoffs. Ohio State tops the rankings with Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama rounding out the top four. Georgia checks in at number 5. As for Georgia Tech, they did make the initial top 25. The Atlanta Hawks, they're now 4-4 on the season after a 127-112 win at home over the Orlando Magic. The Hawks are now off until Friday when they host the Toronto Raptors. And the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. The Atlanta Falcons have released kicker Parker Romo after his missed extra point last weekend. The team has reportedly added kicker Zane Gonzalez to the roster. That's now their third kicker this season. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hi, this is Brad Akins, and no matter what kind of work you do, we have the truck for you at Akins Ford & Winder. Everything from pickup trucks to plumber's trucks, including Ford pickups, flatbeds, utility beds, box trucks, crane trucks, dump trucks, transit vans, wreckers, rollbacks, and more. In fact, we have over 400 commercial vehicles in stock and ready to go when you need them, which is one of the reasons Akins Ford is the #1 commercial truck dealer in the country, because we know trucks. Claim based on December 2024 Ford Commercial Sales Report. See all these trucks at akinsford.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it. We know this from member surveys. They like it a lot. It's a proven thing now. Medi-Share has been around for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing, too. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they will waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline is November 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Bullet points.
I'm Eben Brown. Will your right to carry your firearm extend to public buses and trains? Both the Second Amendment Foundation and the Firearms Policy Coalition want the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved in a case out of Chicago that originally successfully challenged Illinois law banning firearms on public transit. The case was first filed in a federal district court in 2022, and that court ruled the Illinois ban violated the Second Amendment, failing the Supreme Court's Bruin test for historical analogs in gun laws. But the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals overturned that ruling, saying trains and buses are sensitive places and can be made gun-free zones. If the Supreme Court overturns the Seventh Circuit, similar bans against carrying firearms legally on public transportation in other places, such as New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, could also be undone. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
It's November 5th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Donut Day. Donuts. Whether you're a fan of jelly, glazed, chocolate frosted, or Boston cream, today is the day you can allow yourself to have an extra donut with your morning cup of coffee or for dessert after lunch. Make sure you keep an eye on what your local donut shop is doing to celebrate, as many of the national chains offer giveaways to customers so everyone can enjoy the sweet treat. And if you're at work, check your local break room. I bet there's a box in there right now. Also on this date, in 1935, game maker Parker Brothers launches the game that still has many of us fighting over who gets to be the top hat or wondering why the thimble was ever part of the now classic board game Monopoly. And in 2015, the Collins Dictionary names binge watch as the word of the year, followed close behind by the term transgender. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Georgia politicians, if you want to win your election, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3. Extra listeners are some of the most engaged, active in their communities, and outspoken on their beliefs, especially when it comes time to vote. So now's the time to get involved before our listeners move on to someone else. Tell the candidate you're voting for that if they want to win, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
That is the honest truth there. If you want to be elected, you better get in front of this audience. It's not because of Los and I, it's not because of Dre, it's not because of Kimber, it's because of you listening right now. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Easy to get a hold of us if you want to get your candidate on the show. So there is I have this issue, and I've talked to Los about it, talked to Ray about it a few times, and I run into
Drugs?
this. Well, no, it's not that.
Stealing hubcaps?
No, that's my cousin Curtis.
Oh.
Now I've been the recipient of some of the hubcaps, and I was like, Curtis, I can't take this. Put that back.
Look how great these are.
Take that back to that man you took those from. We don't. I'm good. I don't need those. But I appreciate it. You're looking out for me. You're trying to look out for me. You're going about it the wrong way, but you're trying, and I appreciate that and love you for it. But no, that's not it either, Los. It's sometimes I have a wonky eye. My eye is captivated, maybe even by liberal women.
It is weird that you do have a crush of sorts on a hand. Well, I would just say you have an attraction to some of them that it just feels a little bit problematic because they're going to try and hurt you and disappoint you.
And maybe even kill me.
Yeah, you never know.
You just can't ever tell.
I mean, like AOC looks at what you're doing and she's like, "How do I get more money out of your pocket?" And you're like, well,
wow,
maybe.
Wow, you're cute. It happened. Look, I think it's probably a tale as old as time. You know,
you want what's going to hurt you.
Yeah, that's right. What dude doesn't at some point in their life?
Look at this rattlesnake.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I think I'll try to pick it up. I bet it'll like me. I bet it won't bite me. Bite everybody else. Probably won't bite me because I'm trying to be good to it. I'm trying to tote it around. It don't even have to crawl anymore. I'm gonna do the crawling for it. And it doesn't work out. Yeah, AOC. I don't know what it is. There's something to do. Look, I'm a happily married man, but I can't help. I'd see her once in a while. I'm like, wow, she's cute. Gretchen Whitmer's another. I don't know why, because I know she's crazy. I know she is stone cold crazy. But every now and then I'll see her and be like, she's kind of cute. Jeray's shaking his head at me like I'm, like I don't have good glasses or something.
I can get it on AOC. Of course, Anna Paulina Luna, Angel Face.
Well,
we love
but
her
she's
on
a
this
Republican.
show.
So
Yeah.
So
but
she's
Gretchen Whitmer is not.
You don't think she's cute? I'll admit,
not one bit.
I do.
Not
I do.
one
I
little
think
bit.
she's
There's something
attractive.
Something about the way her face moves or doesn't move. Something's wrong there.
Yeah, she does have, those cartoons, Los, with when it's just a really short eyebrow and it's very slanted, so it gives the hard look. You know that card, when people draw it like that, you know what I'm talking about?
Sure, yes.
I'm watching this video of her, and she has that. But I think she's had enough Botox so it doesn't make it look as sinister as it would.
She almost looks like AI.
That's right. But I don't know why it is.
The uncanny valley bothers me.
Sometimes I see her, Los, and I'm like, she's kind of cute.
All right, well, I can't go down that road with you.
I know, I'm alone.
But I think if we want to talk about long-term implications, because of what Gretchen Whitmer and other people like her did in 2020, I don't think you're ever going to have, at least for a certain generation of people, you'll ever have any kind of trust in government ever again. In fact, it's always going to be, in my opinion, I don't trust the medical industry. I don't trust the government.
Amen.
If you told me like, hey, this is in your best interest, I would be like, here's my middle finger.
Prove it.
Prove
it to me.
And I will look into it. And the more that I was told when it came to the vaccine program, oh no, this is in your best interest. I was like, well, here's two middle fingers.
Yeah, right. Absolutely right.
All right, like one was not enough. Here's the second one.
That's the double shot.
I want to play you this audio. This is from a podcast that Gretchen Whitmer went on. And these people, especially when they were so authoritarian, where Gretchen Whitmer in her state wouldn't allow you to buy seeds. And you're like, well, what do you mean? Why wouldn't they buy seeds? Because they didn't want you growing food. They wanted you shopping in the places they wanted you to shop. They got that authoritarian. And so she is now basically trying to do when you bring up, hey, Gretchen, remember during COVID when for about 2 years you were one of the most authoritarian people in the entirety of the country? She is now basically trying to say, well, I just didn't have info. Take a listen.
See? It's only going up. COVID took a little bit. Okay,
COVID
fair enough.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was a little, I'll be honest. I was a little annoyed when I came home for Christmas 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like, we had to eat outside, but we were inside pods outside. It was a little weird. Then I came back here and then I could just do whatever.
Well,
that was a bit weird, I'll be honest.
But remember what the temperature was. Here, you can walk around outside all day, right? At home,
but if I could
in Michigan, in the winter, we're all inside and breathing on each other.
But if I was allowed to be inside, outside, why couldn't I just be inside?
Because you were inside, outside with just your small group of people.
And the servers and bussers.
Listen, Caleb, none of us wants to go back and relive that. We were doing the best we could with very little or very bad information.
Liar!
That it's always that they had just bad information.
Yeah.
We had very little or bad information.
Isn't it easy to reduce everything down to that?
Everything comes down to, well, I was just doing my best with bad information.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know. How was I to know?
You were on a power trip, lady, just like the rest of you fools were.
And your husband, he wasn't getting bad information. He knew he could get out in his boat anytime he wanted to.
And that's what he did when the police stopped him. Which, by the way, they were having police stop you if you tried to go to a lake.
Yeah, except for Gretchen Whitmer's husband. And then all the people that went down from New York, like AOC, went down there with her boyfriend to Florida, who not wearing a mask, while she made everybody in New York do it. Dude, there was not bad information. There were power trips and bad uses of government.
There is never going to be a point where I get over this.
Ever. I agree with you.
Ever.
We're going to be public enemy number one when we're in the United Socialist States of America. Like, we are going to be public enemy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All of us. This entire station.
I think about how I'm supposed to do, and it's part of my insurance, I'm supposed to do a yearly physical.
Right.
I haven't done my yearly physical in 2 years, 3 years.
How could you?
Yeah.
I know. I'm
fact,
with you. Whatever.
For like 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, it was always, hey, everything checks, you're good. I've gotten to the point where I will go see a doctor when something is very wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I just don't want to partake in this quackery. And that's what it's turned into for me. I would never have referred to the medical profession as quackery, but it now is. That's what it's turned into now that the government has such a big hand in it.
Yes. And everything is, what's the problem? Well, we've got something. We can
we got a
pill for that. Doesn't matter what it is. We got a pill for it. We can take care of it with this little pill. And this big drug company makes it really cheap. It's only $8.
And then when something goes wrong, Tug, it's just, well, listen, we just didn't have enough information. We had bad information.
I'm sorry. My bad. Didn't mean to. See, nobody wants to relitigate this. Nobody wants to relive
Nobody
this.
wants to go back. I know, Tug, that we accidentally gave you butt cancer.
Well, yeah.
But it was an accident, and we don't want to relitigate this. We don't want to look into this.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow, man.
I know that your heart exploded from our shot, but nobody wants to relitigate this.
Amen to that. Dude, I'm so fed up, so tired of all of these people. I'm so tired of everything that they do and say. And yesterday with the whole, all the blue candidates winning in the blue states. And then, there was some pickups that they got here in Georgia, too, with the Public Service Commission. I'm just so tired of fighting. And that's the thing. We can't get that. You're going to have to regroup. You're going to have to, because if you ever just throw in the towel, that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what they got their fingers crossed for, that you'll give up and just let them have carte blanche like you did in 2020. They got a taste of that, and they're like, how do we get that again? How do we do it again? Gosh, weren't those the good old days?
All this absolute power.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they would get up every morning and just flex, like,
in the mirror. They're in the mirror doing the Hulk Hogan flex. Doing down in front, and then the Hulk Hogan's up top. With the
firing up. I'm a real American.
Of course, yeah, I'm a real socialist or whatever it is that they would do. I love this absolute power. God, man,
it's just I don't know, Tug. Maybe I need an apology. Maybe it wouldn't even matter. Did here Gretchen Whitmer be like, hey, we got it wrong.
Yeah,
here's what we did. We got it wrong. But she's like, we just had bad information.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to relitigate that. I'm like, I do. I want to tell you that in the moment you were doing it, you were wrong. I knew you were wrong, and I said you were wrong.
But the thing is, even if they apologized, like, that would go the slightest bit of distance for people. But I would know that they were doing it only to secure their power, not because they were really sorry. It would be something that they used as a deflector. I'm sorry, man, I got it wrong, but I was just trying. I was just trying my best. I was just doing the best I could. With all that bad information, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Because I don't trust you at all, because I don't believe. Erica Kirk said it the other day. I saw a clip with her, and I can't remember who she was sitting down with, but she was asked, do you want Jimmy Kimmel to apologize? And she said, no. He doesn't feel it. He doesn't believe it, even if he apologized. I know he believes what he said, not what he's apologizing for. So I don't want their apology. And just like Erica Kirk. Morning Xtra, an Extra 106.3 wrapping up here. Going to turn it over to Beck. But we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you caring about America, the state of Georgia, and Metro Atlanta the way you do. So keep it here. We'll keep talking about the things that matter with you. For Los and Jure, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Xtra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Xtra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.